Buenos días, bola de No, no es cierto. Muy buenos días y feliz lunes a todos ustedes. Aquí en Estados Unidos, por cierto, no me había dado cuenta, es Martin MLK Day, que es el día de Martin Luther King, y no abren los bancos, no abre la bolsa. Así que ahí lo tienen. Yo creo que el día de hoy vamos a analizar simplemente criptos para no hacerla de pedo y mañana, bueno, el miércoles nos metemos ya de lleno al mercado porque nada se ha movido desde el viernes, ¿no? Entonces vamos a platicar de ello. Oigan, el día de hoy quiero platicar con ustedes de que no puedo creer que nos la vayan a aplicar otra vez y va a funcionar, va a funcionar, va a totalmente funcionar, pero de otra forma esta vez. Les tienen a todos ustedes las noticias. Ustedes saben que son de mis favoritas, de que porque Donald Trump quiere quedarse con Greenland, ¿no? Que por ende hay 8 países en la Unión Europea que están protestando y ahora vamos a ponerles aranceles. Nadie ha visto esta película, ¿no? Me imagino que todos nos quedamos dormidos y nadie vio esta película. Cabrones, por el puto amor de Dios, para empezar, lo más loco de esto es que ya el mismo Donald Trump ha salido a decir que los aranceles fueron positivos para todo y todo el mundo lo creyó. Y ahora que hablan una vez más de implementar aranceles, les están diciendo, ¿no? Vieron este fin de semana que bajó Bitcoin, ¿no? A través del fin de semana que literalmente los futuros del SP500 están abajo. Te tiran todo esto, ¿no? Bajista. Por cierto, el viernes hablamos de esto. El viernes les dije, ¿dónde está la oportunidad? Va a haber una oportunidad de long aquí y vamos a escalonar nuestras entradas. He cambiado desde entonces mi trade porque bajó y subió, entonces vendí eso, ahorita les voy a enseñar. Y ahora estoy preparado para entrar una vez más en este long delicioso. ¿Por qué? Porque te están tirando malas noticias. Te están tirando las noticias de que viene, los aranceles. Una vez más, ¿qué aranceles le aplicaron a Bitcoin para haber caído en abril junto con lo demás de la bolsa? No hay, no hay. Es una estupidez gigantesca y una mentira enorme que los está haciendo literalmente perder la cabeza sobre nada. Es una mamada, una mamada. Los aranceles. Bueno, y bueno, espero que estos aranceles también nos ayuden a escapar de la inflación tan grande que nunca llegó de acuerdo a todo el mundo. ¡Qué cabrón! Es que está muy potente todo esto que está ocurriendo. Pero una vez más nos quieren aplicarle a los aranceles. ¿Qué quiere decir esto? Esto ya no es lo mismo que la vez pasada. No pueden usar lo mismo 2 veces, ¿ok? Estos hijos de puta, que son unos pinches genios de mierda, los respeto con todo mi corazón. Estos genios literalmente hacen lo mismo cada vez. Te tiran la pandemia y después te dicen cada 2 meses va a haber una nueva y te amenazan de que va a ser por el ganado, que va a ser por los pájaros, que va a ser por el cerdo, ¿no? Y cada una de esas veces me escribe todo el mundo a decirme, ya se viene otra. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Ya usaron, ya la primera ya pasó. Esto lo están usando para meterse con tu cabeza y hacerte estar no tranquilo. Es lo que están haciendo. Con esta, ya pasaron los aranceles, ¿no? Ya bajó Bitcoin por los grandes aranceles que le cobraron también a Solana y también a la bolsa, a las empresas que son solamente de tecnología dentro de Estados Unidos también ya les pegaron los aranceles. O sea, una mamada, ¿no? ¿No? Y sobre todo cuando dices, la inflación de los aranceles nunca llegó. Entonces, ¿qué fue el bajón? Una mamada. Pero bueno, es lo que estamos viendo en este momento. Están amenazando de que Greenland va a venir y de no sé qué pedo. Güey, esto que están haciendo te debería de importar un pito. No funciona para nada de lo que quieres. Quieres hacer dinero, ¿no? Yo me imagino que estás aquí porque quieres hacer dinero. No estás aquí porque te importa mucho la geopolítica, quieres volverte un experto para después volverte un político e intervenir y cambiar el mundo, porque es imposible. Tendrías que ser un niño de 12 años que todavía no se ha encontrado con el mundo para entender cómo funciona esto, ¿no? Estás aquí porque quieres hacer dinero. Ninguna de estas noticias te benefician, ninguna. Lo único que quieres ver es por qué las están diciendo y cuál es la reacción de la gente a ello. Habíamos tenido movimientos alcistas, lo hemos visto y continúa empujando para arriba. Ya te dieron las malas noticias de... ¿Cuál fue la mala noticia que encontramos ante el rebotote de Bitcoin? ¿Cuál era la mala noticia que nos dieron? Les dije, este es un long y pues funcionó perfecto y ahora este es un short por justamente esto. Les están intentando, bueno, ahora es un long otra vez, fue un short el fin de semana. ¿Por qué? Porque están intentando vender que algo malo va a pasar cuando Bitcoin está abajo. Y esto es un movimiento que habíamos visto desde el viernes, que estaba puesto enfrente de todos nosotros, ¿no? Poder entrar más abajo para vender más arriba, esa es la idea. Porque todavía no sé, personalmente yo creo que todavía no sé ese movimiento grande. Y ahorita lo único que están haciendo, para que lo entiendan, así funciona. La bolsa no abre el lunes, que es hoy. El fin de semana te tiran todo este miedo. Bien. Bitcoin cae. Bien. El oro sube. Bien. Y ahora ponen en todos los encabezados. Todos. Vienen más aranceles. El martes, cuando abra la bolsa, va a abrir en rojo. Me estás diciendo por adelantado que la bolsa va a abrir en rojo. ¿Qué necesita la bolsa para abrir en rojo y que funcione esto? Porque todo el mundo va a decir, ¿cómo? ¿Va a funcionar? Sí, porque mañana en la mañana la bolsa tiene que tener, junto con cripto, tienen que tener números más bajos para que todo el mundo diga, verga, esto ya fue. Y ahí es cuando suban antes de que abra la sesión, baja y todo vuelve a subir. Es como yo lo veo. Es lo que han estado haciendo una y otra y otra y otra vez. El hecho de que todo esté tan bien coordinadito, bonito, contadito, que todo vaya a pasar el fin de semana. No sacaron, no sé si notaron también que este fin de semana no salieron a decirte ayer que Michael Saylor estaba pensando en comprar Bitcoin. Este fin de semana es diferente. Este fin de semana te están vendiendo que es bajista. Te lo están diciendo. Michael Saylor se tomó el fin de semana sin dar entrevistas el domingo y decir que iba a comprar Bitcoin. ¡Qué locura! Todo esto es parte de la gran retórica. Estados Unidos, aranceles, Estados Unidos conquistando otros países, te da completamente igual porque nada de eso te afecta. Nada. Lo de Venezuela, ¿por qué fue? Porque Estados Unidos y el resto de los multimillonarios mexicanos, coreanos, chinos, de tu puta madre, todos necesitaban que les pagaran de vuelta y Maduro no les había pagado de vuelta. Lo mismo está a punto de pasar en otros lugares. México no es el siguiente, para toda la gente que la trae espantada. Y ahora veo que todos están volviendo locos en México porque veo a varios cuates en X poner cosas de que los vamos a invadir. En Estados Unidos ni nos están diciendo nada de esto. Y para que recordemos, yo fui de los primeros idiotas, y no el primer idiota que les dije, algo están planeando en México, algo están armando acá. Se los digo de diferentes fuentes que vienen del mismo lugar, que México no es lo que sigue. No tiene nada que ver. Les están, en México, lo que están haciendo, para que lo entiendan, les están diciendo que van a agarrar a AMLO y les están diciendo que van a agarrar a Morena y que van a agarrar a la presidenta. No es más o menos como el cuento que se cuentan. Una vez más, no sé nada, pero estoy viendo el cuento que les cuentan. Y les digo esto, lo único que está creando es más división entre todos ustedes, porque se están peleando entre todos ustedes que se deberían de llevar a quién. Entonces, ese es el objetivo de todo esto. Eventualmente Estados Unidos va a hacer algo, tal vez, porque puede que si Pemex no les está pagando a todos los multimillonarios de otros países que ustedes no saben son dueños de, entonces se armaría un pedo. Pero el siguiente en la lista inmediata no es México, es un país con playas divinas, ¿ok? Así que tranquilos. Vientos. Ahora, vamos a pasar a algo rápido. Están hablando muchísimo. No sé si vieron que los extraterrestres, el Banco de Inglaterra estaba preparado. Es que ya no pueden más estos güeyes. Ya es. Ya no pueden más. Te están diciendo que por los extraterrestres va a haber una caída en la bolsa, etcétera. Voy a decirles esto que suena muy loco para muchos de ustedes, pero lo voy a poner enfrente como siempre, para que se puedan burlar de mí todos los días de su vida. Y se rían y vean. Si este pendejo se pudo hacer rico, yo también. Ve lo pendejo que es. Exactamente. Eso es para eso estoy aquí, para que recuerdes eso. Y les digo, vienen y nos están contando que el Banco de Inglaterra va a quebrar o va a tronar o todo va a bajar porque van a venir los extraterrestres. Aquí hay cosas muy chistosas, porque eso no es lo que va, no te van a traer extraterrestres y de la nada, pues la bolsa se revienta. Literalmente es toda la cultura de absolutamente todo se iría a la verga si hay extraterrestres, porque cuando veas un extraterrestre y entiendas lo que ellos entienden de la creación, todo lo que es religiones se van a la mierda. Y no puede haber eso todavía. Ahora, cuando nos vayan a enseñar a los extraterrestres, cabrones, se los voy a poner enfrente de todos ustedes de una vez para que lo apunten. Lo que van a hacer es revelar que hay humanos que son extraterrestres. Entonces, ponte tú, un ejemplo pendejo. Va a salir Elon y va a decir, la neta, yo soy de otro planeta. Ay, güey, aparte rimó chingón. Es un ejemplo, no estoy diciendo que Elon Musk sea de otro planeta. Pero Elon va a salir y va a decir, por ejemplo, ¿no? Oigan, resulta que, pues, la neta, sí, yo con otras personas soy parte de eso. ¿Por qué lo tienen que hacer así? Porque todos se morirían de un infarto si les traen a las cosas que existen, que están junto a nosotros estos días, todos los días. Mucha gente no está preparada para eso. Y aunque lo ven a veces, no pueden con él. Entonces no se preocupen, no les van a traer, no es una invasión de extraterrestres, no es nada de eso. No van a tirar la bolsa, a menos de que Estados Unidos le quiera echar la culpa. Güey, si le echaron la culpa a los aranceles y todo el mundo se comió la de los aranceles, ¿cómo vergas no se van a comer enterita la de, ¿cómo se llama? La de los extraterrestres, ¿no? Que ellos son los que están causando que la bolsa baje. Le están haciendo... Es lunes, no hay muchas noticias, son puras pendejadas todas, honestamente. Pero bueno, que la gente se prepare, todos los economistas muy fuertes que se preparen para estos nuevos aranceles. Y una vez más, ¿qué es lo que va a pasar? Vamos a acabar todos persiguiendo al dólar después de una liquidez de una crisis de liquidez del dólar, donde va a haber un credit crunch para las monedas estables y todo eso. Es a donde vamos. Todo eso es como continúa dándose para adelante y lo seguimos viendo. Personalmente, ¿dónde estoy viendo este Bitcoin? Les quiero compartir a todos ustedes rápido, porque les había puesto esto, ¿no? Enfrente, en un segundito, para que lo tengamos acá. Les dejé el día de ayer. Aparte, este corto y después cerramos longs. Ah, no, perdón. No les quería compartir esa, era esta. Esa es tristemente mi tabla de posiciones. Estábamos platicando el viernes del escenario que se está dando, punto extra la teoría de Irlong, malas noticias ante una caída esperada, sugiere que no quieren que te subas. Cuando te dan malas noticias y estás viendo las cosas bajar, esto es algo importante para todos ustedes de aprender, ¿ok? Cuando estás viendo malas noticias y la cosa baja, es para después subir. Entonces, personalmente, yo creo que todavía no tenemos ese movimiento fuerte a la alza que hemos estado esperando. Hay mucha gente que ya se desanimó, yo todavía no creo que se ha dado. Les iba a dar mis entradas ayer, pero estaba en hongos, así que prefiero que los que sepan encuentren lo que están buscando, ¿ok? Esa fue la idea. El viernes ya les había dejado a todos ustedes la idea de que íbamos a tener, pero déjenme ver si voy a ver ahí está. El viernes les había dejado la idea a todos ustedes de cómo iba a jugar este long. Ahora, ¿qué fue lo que ocurrió? Lo que ocurrió fue, y voy a quitar esta y poner esta, estos son solamente les quería enseñar esto, está en otra computadora de un segundito para poder hacerle zoom. Estos son mis operaciones, para que entiendan, me gusta hacer lana en putiza, ¿no? Esta es una de mis cuentas, tengo 3, 4 de esta, tengo 4, básicamente hago lo mismo en todas. Me llevo poca lana a veces, pero me gusta. Tengo aquí un trade perdedor, ¿y cuántos llevo ahorita bien? Después de 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Este fue el que cerré. De hasta arriba. Era el long que había posicionado el fin de semana. Cuando vi que nos quedamos trabados en 95.5, vendí en 95.5. Dije, no quiero estar más ahí. Y esto es algo, ¿por qué les enseño esto cuando es tan poquito dinero, no? Porque relativo a esto para mí es, puse este mes $25,000 en esto y voy más de $25,000 arriba. Porque cuando haces pequeños movimientos y pequeñas ganancias y no le quieres ganar a todo el mercado todo el tiempo, todo, te va bien, tío. Y esto es lo que quiero que aprendan. Justamente ahorita estoy buscando mi nueva posición. Aquí tienen mis nuevas entradas. Se las voy a regalar antes de empezar el en vivo. Y ahora, acabando el en vivo y reservo ¿cómo se dice? Reservo mi idea de cambiar de opinión. Tengo entrada en 90,369 y 80,969. Las cambié. Toda mi idea el viernes era agarra 91, 92, 90. Ahora, si seguiste esta idea, definitivamente ya estás haciendo dinero, pudiste hacer dinero grande con la vela de hoy. Pero mi idea cambia simplemente porque se vuelve más sencillo entender que venimos a esta zona y ahorita lo vamos a analizar. Entonces, esto es lo que quiero que aprendan todos ustedes. Quiero que vengan conmigo y que no se queden traumados con, güey, tengo que hacer $1,000 millones en un trade, Puedes hacer un chingo de dinero haciendo estas cosas, definitivamente. Y pues a todo el mundo es lo que yo les enseñaría. Vengan, caigan a nuestro Discord aquí de Elite Trading Academy, este es. Y para los que no sepan cómo funciona esta chingadera, como yo, todos los menús están del lado izquierdo. Lo tenemos por acá. Elite Trading Academy, tenemos los análisis de Alex también por acá, tenemos también los de Farhan por acá, tenemos acá también los que yo les mando con mis pendejadas, acá lo tienen hasta cuando estoy en hongos, para que no digan, no hay excusa, ¿no? De todo esto. También tenemos por acá Criptolingo para todos ustedes, para quien quiera usar bien nuestras abreviaciones y todas estas pendejadas que siempre hacemos. Y ahora, si no entiendes Criptolingo, ¿no? Quiero que entiendan, esto para mí es muy importante entender, ¿ok? Es muy importante entender. ¿Por qué? Porque, por ejemplo, no importa qué es lo que estés viendo, ¿no? No importa. Imagínate, esta es mi decepción más grande. Me falló el long, según este güey. No seas Jordan García, por favor. Por el amor de Dios. O sea, si no entiendes cómo tradear, mínimo por el amor de Dios, cae a nuestro Discord, es lo que les recomiendo. Y ahora, si en el Discord no tienes toda la información, tienes criptolingo, tienes todas estas cosas que podrías estar usando, pero aún así no entiendes como el gran, ¿cómo se llama este güey? Como el gran Jordan García, porque no te cabe en la cabeza cómo funciona tradear, ¿no? Porque una vez más, no importa que el gráfico te dé la razón, no importa que haya un rebote, nada, no. O que todavía tus entradas estén más abajo. Lo que yo quiero que ustedes hagan es que no caigan como él y aprendan. Entonces, aquí tenemos un curso de $29.99 que se llama literalmente $29.99. Se llama de cero a trader. Hasta ese, mi amigo Julián García lo puede usar, Jordan García, y podría beneficiarse muy cabrón, porque esto es para principiantes. Si eres nuevo y no entiendes nada y crees y no entiendes absolutamente ni vergas de esto, ¿no? No tiene nada de malo, tío. Todos empezamos así. Yo empecé así y lo han visto el cambio, han visto dónde estamos ahorita parados, ¿no? Y empiezas con esto, las bases, el lenguaje de trader. No, esto no te va a hacer un monstruo en trading, no te va a hacer el güey más verga del planeta. Lo que te va a hacer es entender todo lo que hablamos aquí. Y vas a venir diario, lunes, miércoles, viernes, gratis, por 4 horas, haciendo esto enfrente de ti. Y ahora, con eso deberías de aprender todo. Pero si tienes cualquier pregunta, tenemos nosotros los jueves, cada 2 jueves, una sesión para que vengas. Es una clase privada para los miembros de esto, de Elite Trading Academy. Y ahí podemos resolver todas tus dudas. Güey, que aprendí tendencia, que aprendí momentum, que aprendí volatilidad, pero no entiendo cómo vergas haces esto. Aquí es donde aprendes. Aquí es donde aprendes. Entonces, si ven a mi amigo Jordan García, invítenlo a bajar el curso. Si alguien le puede pagar el curso, por favor, se los agradecería de todo corazón. Y si quieren aprender a tradear futuros como nosotros, ya que te sabes todas estas cosas, cállate acá, cómo tradear en Bitunix. Y acá tienes un video de 11 minutitos, gratis también, de cómo usar un exchange, el exchange de Bitunix, que es un exchange de criptos que te deja apalancarte hasta 125, 150X, creo que ya. Y aquí abajo tienes nuestro enlace para poder registrarte con él directo y tener todos los beneficios de la comunidad de Elite Trading Academy, sobre todo ahora con los nuevos torneos que se vienen este año. Vamos con todo, sobre todo con los movimientos buenos. Así que con esto puedes aprender en 11 minutos cómo fondear tu cuenta, cómo abrirla, cómo navegar a través del exchange, cómo poder encontrar Bitcoin, cómo poder encontrar Solana para hacerle un corto, un largo, cómo hacer el corto, el largo, cómo poner un stop loss, cómo poner un take profit, todas esas cosas tan bonitas, cómo mandar tu dinero de vuelta a tu casa. Se los dejo acá simplemente para todos ustedes, para que lo tengan. Todo esto es gratis. Lo que no es gratis es el cursito. ¿Ok? Cuesta $29 porque les doy todo mi portafolio gratis y aún así nadie lo aprovecha. Les tengo que cobrar para que entiendan mínimo lo mínimo, ¿no? Para que le vean un poco de valor a las cosas, porque si no, si la información es gratuita, vale verga en la cabeza de todos y es nuestra propia culpa, nos han entrenado a hacer esto. Sin más ni más, les traigo a Alex y a Farhan. Vamos a empezar esto con el Elite Trading Academy, damas y caballeros. Vamos a ver cómo nos vamos con los Bitcoins. Un segundo, ¿dónde están mis Bitcoins? Aquí. All right, motherfuckers, good morning.
Buenos días, muchachos.
How are you, boys?
Doing good, doing good.
¿Dónde está mi Bitcoin? Mi Bitcoin, ¿dónde está?
Do you know that there's more tariffs coming? Oh man,
I've heard.
very, very negative. I bet you the market's definitely going to do the same thing that he did before. Fucking God, it's dude. It's so disappointing, but at the same time, it's so awesome knowing that 99% of the population literally is a turd floating on a toilet. Like that's their IQ capacity. That you can tell them the same fucking thing and they'll fall for it. You know why this is awesome? Because we take their money. It's unfortunate,
literally.
but you guys keep not learning. I actually think we should change this and just participate in the narrative for everyone and be like, oh, guys, everything is going to go down so much. And just go along. It might be a good fucking maybe that's what everyone's doing and we're the retards.
That's got to be it.
Yeah, it must be.
Never thought about it. Damn, they're playing us. All right, Alex, well, what do you got on the Bitcoin? Because now that long is opening up, perhaps.
Yeah, and it's just interesting because we had the tariff news on Saturday, I believe, but you already had a setup, right? There always has to be a reason on why we're moving down. But Bitcoin was telling us this was going to move down quite before we even got the tariff news. But again, it's all dependent on news and tariffs, and yeah, we must just be going down because of that. But no, really, in all realness, we are gauging the daily EMA 100. On the daily, it's a very big point. To me, it seemed like the easy trade to be watching 95.5 in confluence with the daily EMA 100. Now, on Thursday, we had gotten a nice deviation set up. This instantly made us more short bias, more on the lower time frames, gauging just a simple throwback to 92.2. Very simple trader. I see that whenever you get back above 92.2, within this chop zone, you do get those throwbacks. The issue is you just haven't been able to hold above 92.2. So when you broke out, reclaimed 95.5 back above the daily EMA 100, this just helps us have a gauge on if we're actually going to bounce or not. As long as you stay above the EMA 100 on the daily, you will be moving up. But as soon as you got that deviation going into Friday, this really dump should not have surprised anyone. This just kind of plays right into what you were already watching on Thursday, Friday. All eyes on 92.2 now, right? We were able to watch and see. We have not really been able to hold 92.2. And often once you lose that 92.2 spot, you do start moving down. So now we're at a major spot of support. The next real big bounce zone, in my opinion, we had that daily EMA 100 setup that took us to the daily EMA 34. And now we're sitting there, actually got a perfect bounce so far, right off the 34 on the daily. So, right, where things may seem like it's crazy, panic selling, news flows is insane. Actually, this is still telling a story. The daily here is in an easy uptrend, and you're potentially just brewing that daily higher low right off 92.2. Now, it can very quickly shift for bears. Today's close is going to be quite important. This is what I was mentioning yesterday. You need to be watching very carefully how this develops and closes in 9 hours. You're either going to start seeing this get bought up. 92.2 is a spring zone, and you'll start actually making your way up towards that daily EMA 100. You're going to mentally note that after the deviation here, you never actually got the bearish retest. You just simply stayed under 95.5. How Bitcoin would it be to start moving up from here, go right up to the daily EMA 100, and there you get the decision again. Either you lower high or this is a higher low and you start breaking out. Easy confirmation of a breakout to me in this perspective is simply just getting a range, breakout, retest, hold 95.5. This will start opening up the next range at 98,000. Like 98,300 and 99,500. Until then, you're now at the extremity low of the new range, 95.5 to 92.2. You do need, as a bull, to be really watching the reaction here. That's all on the daily, though, right? Daily uptrend can be formed. Higher low on the daily looks great. But understand that if you do not hold this daily EMA 34, specifically today's low, if it doesn't hold, you start really closing under 91.3. This is when it starts developing extremely strong for bears, and this will just look like a massive fake out. Something we've seen before on this kind of downtrend, essentially, is massive fake outs, right? Right off that daily EMA 100. You get back above, we're so back, we go up to that 116, and then it ends up fizzling out, deviating, giving us a major next leg down. So we don't want that scenario if you're being bullish. And so far, well, you're still under the daily EMA 100. So understand that's going to be kind of the like race against time for bulls. How fast can we get back above the daily EMA 100? Longer you stay under it, the more bears are simply going to have control, right? You lost it, you consolidate under it, and now you've been dumping for the last 3 days. Dumping in quotation marks. Let's just measure the move out from here. Yeah, pretty cheeky, about basically 4%. Really not too bad. Definitely a tradable move. So that's my daily analysis so far. Let's really watch to see if this higher low develops. We got the higher high, higher low in this region. Let's just see. Let's check out daily HBDR right off that median. If you don't have HBDR, understand that if you start losing the daily 34 today, confluence at the median has been lost. That'll give you an objective down to 89,200, or specifically testing January 8th's low. It's very important. Why that's important is because this is the last major low before you start to move up here. So bulls are trying to defend that. But even on the HBDR perspective, you really can see this is a big spot of interest, 92.2. And again, really shouldn't surprise anyone that we're getting this move down. Something that developed, and that is new, we'll focus here on the moving averages, is we did get a 5-day EMA 100 reclaim. Now, you're mentally going to note that this had occurred already back in the beginning of January. You got the reclaim and you got a massive deviation, but now you've got the reclaim again. This 5 days a really good perspective on this is chop, right? You're not really holding levels and bouncing off of them based here. So will we get a new developing thing? Will this be a price structure shift, a level that's been keeping us down and even deviating? Maybe we'll start holding into this new 5-day candle closure. You want to be watching this very carefully because this 5-day, something I've been mentioning, this will be the start of potentially a major shift here in favor of bulls. You have 5-day volatility contracting, actually giving us a setup at 4.37%. You notice here that you are consolidating so far above 92.2, and you're even back above the 5-day EMA 100. And most easily, right, the easy perspective is, are we back above the 5-day 9? And you are. You're holding above the 5-day EMA 9. Very, very, very simple perspective. Look how well this 5-day EMA 9 held us down. Look how well it holds us up. So if you just want to be a very simple trader, stay above this 5-day EMA 9 at 92.2, you will have more of a bias. This will go up. But still, 1 day, 9 hours left to go. This is why the trade on the daily is going to be very important, because this will really start dictating how that 5 days is going to start closing, in my opinion. So still too early to say, though. And that's why if you're not positioned, you just want more closures, right? You very easily can see you get one reclaim and then you lose it. One reclaim, you lose it. One reclaim, sell off, and you hold above it, but then you sell massively down and fill that wick. So you are staying above 92.2, but you need closures above it. It's going to be very important. If you just consistently get closures above it, this will actually start looking a lot better. Longing now just on this one wick down is a little aggressive. It is working, though. I mean, longing that 34, it definitely worked. You're up almost 1%, but you just need to see bulls really kind of get a spring out of here and move towards this daily EMA 100. Easy bottom, confirmation is just a reclaim of that 95.8 or that daily EMA 100. But still, it's very early here. You still just need to really see bulls pick up or just simply hold and really preferably get back above the daily EMA 9. Now we'll go to the weekly. Weekly kind of plays into what we see on the 5-day, which is, does the 5-day hold the 9? Does the weekly hold the 9? Again, this is, new developing things. But we also can't act crazily surprised about this. One closure doesn't change much for me. We've seen this before here where we got back above the daily 9, went up to 116. We were so back. I remember this, per the CRs, and then we ended up massively selling off. Here, this just plays into exactly what we already want on the daily, which is, can we just simply hold above 92.2 on daily closures? Ideally, that'll bleed into another weekly EMA9 reclaim. That'll be the second one. That'll be a developing thing for me. We get 2 closures above the weekly EMA9. That'll be the first time we've gotten that within this chop since starting in October. That is something I'll have to really be looking at with a different perspective. Okay, cool. Now let's check this bi-weekly. We notice here, let's see where this bi-weekly closed last week. 93,638. So you did end up closing under the bi-weekly EMA 34. Still really doesn't change much for me here then. Right? What really will cancel $69,000 is, well, does the bi-weekly get back above the 34? Now we can quickly use the weekly. We just talked about the weekly, remember? And the weekly 9, we start holding that weekly 9. That'll be a really good implication that this 2-week closing in 13 days most likely will reclaim the 34. But until then, you still have this volatility setup firing off. You still are in a bi-weekly sell, and you're barely hanging on to the cliffside edge here at 92.2. So you just want to be fully aware. Really, in my opinion, whenever we get these major moves, should be no reason why bulls don't reclaim a major level like the 34 year. You do have to look at that with slight caution at the fact that we have not reclaimed that. And we even wicked above it. We should have reclaimed it. Would have changed a lot of stuff for my analysis here if we did get back above it, but we did not. So we want to be very cautious of that still. Really still is a major spot, simply because the higher time frame you go on Bitcoin, the worse it becomes. You start looking at the monthly and, well, no changes here. Simple monthly EMA9 rejection so far. We already measured this, but I think about 4%. Yeah, 4.6%. I remember on stream we were talking about this will be some kind of, first rejection zone here. It's just more dependent on, does it actually reject, or we just get a little sell off before filling out this wick. So far, once you get back under this 91.3, this will start looking like a massive rejection to me. But still, a little bit of hopium here with 92.2. But if you were longing up around 97, 96K, you really had no reason to do that. Even on stream, we talked about the whole idea, which was just simply this monthly bearish retest setup that we've been talking about for the last 2 months, or really since the loss of it in November. Visually, you can see it better on, let's say, here. Let me delete this idea. iMessage ideas, nothing serious there. And then you just see here that you simply were holding it. CME is back under 94K, and even rejecting the monthly 9, a little different than what occurred last month, because you actually have solidified that monthly EMA 9 retest, something we've been wanting for the last few months, or again, since we lost it in November. That doesn't give me the biggest boost of confidence for bulls, I will say. You really need to be cautious here. If bears want to flex, they still absolutely can. And you're mentally going to note that on the index here, we're very close to firing off this volatility setup. Very, very close. And this is the biggest monthly volatility setup we've ever had. Going into February, this actually may confirm expansion. That's a major developing thing we have not seen really in a very long time. Never actually. But really since, let's say, October, this has been just contracting. And then we've just been slowly moving up. So it is at the closest point of breaking out than it's ever been since looking at this. Monthly volatility, CME, and it's the lowest read. That's very important. When you're in the midst of this, you do have to look at that and really wonder, is it actually gearing up for a major move down? Understand that if you're trying to be a bull here, it's very easy to understand where to get bullish. We just simply need, again, the daily EMA 100 to get reclaimed. That often, or always, right, cancels my aggressive shorting rule. But if you stay under a daily EMA 100, technically my system, you are allowed to aggressively short. So you do need to just be watching very carefully here. I think ETA had a short at 95.5, TP1 at 92.2, I believe. If not, we'll still be looking for a short if we get the criteria. This isn't the short zone, more long zone here. Only if you lose 91.3 on a daily closure, daily candle closure, you will get another short opportunity to that 86K, where that does become still a massive zone for us on Bitcoin. That's where, right, we've been just solidifying this local bottom right off the weekly EMA 100. You end up coming all the way back down to the zone. You have to be very cautious of this not holding and actually making the next leg down from this point. So up or down, really pick your poison. Still too early to really call a victory for bulls or even bears. Simply looks like a new range is forming. You have 92.2 as support, 95.5 as resistance. You're in a daily uptrend. That's the good point for bulls. And you could be solidifying some kind of higher low off the 34. Something you did end up doing at the last higher low, which was really holding that 34, led to a big bounce. Let's go to the 12-hour. 12-hour is very similar to what we had here. Remember, if you guys last week on stream, right, Alejandro was mentioning here this 12-hour EMA 34. Notice it never got lost, and notice you expanded from it. It can literally be something this simple. 34 doesn't give you the sell trigger. You end up expanding from that. You are at the 34 now, and you are above the EMA 100. So you can just quickly see on this 12-hour how important 92.2 is. You want to be watching very carefully because the recipe of holding the 34, getting back above the 100 led to a big bounce. So this just plays into, should be more spring zone than not. And if you don't hold this, that'll be a major sign. You'll go into your 12-hour and you say, yeah, man, you've lost a level that was holding during this zone beginning of January. Now you've lost it. This will give us confluence of that short. So still not a short, more in a long, but just not, you need more data here. So watch very carefully because with that new weekly, we have some, new things developing. We want that weekly 9 to hold. Really going to be dependent on if that holds or not, which will dictate that bi-weekly and monthly close. This monthly is closing in 12 days. We just want to be fully aware of that. We were looking at last week's weekly median. So let's actually check that this week. Ooh, okay. And so for the last few times, the weekly median actually has been kind of the magnet for price for some reason. I don't know why I turned that off. Here we go. You've just been holding the weekly median, not holding it, since losing it in this chop. You every week have been making aggressive moves to the weekly median. The issue is you just still have not been able to close above it. You also have the bottom side 38.2% consistently staying around this 86K region. I still have to be looking at this as, well, a very interesting perspective. If you end up moving up a little higher, weekly median is at 96,500, very close to that 21. And really, as long as you stay under this zone, still going to give you an objective down to that 86K. That is still our big zone. That's the big zone that you need to be watching. That's where that weekly EMA 100 is. But still, weekly median, not reclaimed. And it's the same thing I've been mentioning for the last 3 weeks now. You've been making dumps since the start of this move down off the weekly median. Now, okay, you've been rejecting slightly, but not really moving down. So you still want to be watching this area very carefully where you have a weekly 9 reclaim. That's good, but still not enough to be max longing here off one candle closure, because we've very easily have seen the weekly median not get reclaimed, the weekly 9 get reclaimed, and then that ends up rejecting and dumping. So we'll see in this week where this weekly median will really, what role will this play? Does it reject us? Does it shift back under price? For now, it's above it. So this still means, to me, we're still in a very tricky spot here. Very tricky spot. Look how easy it can be to long once you're above the median and the 9 on the weekly. Right? Above the median and the 9. Just a little tricky here. I don't think that's crazy to say, because when we actually look at tether dominance, really tether dominance is actually looking pretty good, not gonna lie. Let's throw back our meme lines. Let's get our moving averages on. Let's really roll here. Let's go to the monthly and let's just move down the time frames. Remember, the monthly has a massive trend shift here. To me, the monthly is still gearing up for maybe potentially a higher low here. Still way too early to say. most likely this idea will develop more into February once you get this January monthly candle closure. But the important part is you still are staying above 5.923%, 5.929%. That's a major spot. Visually, you can just see how big of a spot this is on the monthly. Big rejections down each time. But now this isn't happening, right? You're reclaiming and you're consolidating above that 5.92. I always forget it, 5.929% level. That's important because it still looks like bullish consolidation. You also have that EMA 5 on the monthly, right? We were watching this setup here, which was simply the EMA 5 holding us down for multiple months. 1, 2, 3, 4 months just down. You got the reclaim, you got the expansion. Yeah, you did reclaim the 5. You tested it here. So, right, when you go into a monthly 5 with just a price structure shift, visually, that's all this shows, taking out the last lower high here. Now consolidating off this channel with the monthly 5. You do still have to be looking at this as bullish. Can quickly change. We'll check really fast on the weekly if things have shifted, because remember, it's all dependent on the weekly SMA 200. Remember, we keep mentioning this. Weekly SMA 200 gets lost. There's your big move down on Tether dominance. That's your green dodo on Bitcoin. But you can see here, weekly SMA 200 did not get lost last week. Yes, you simply lost a weekly 9, but we're really focused on this SMA 200 in confluence with 5.929%. Until those actually get lost, you still have to keep the energy, which is this is a major bounce zone still. And what we're doing is just simply putting bullish price structure on the monthly. Very important. Because until you actually lose this 59.29%, 5.29%, keep saying that wrong, my apologies, you really aren't going to have a big bias on this breaking down. Can quickly change, though. Once you lose the weekly SMA 200, look how fast this can shift. Bullish, you lose it, you dump. You lose it, you then reject, you dump. You lose it, you dump. So when you're staying above it, it still can be tricky. You can get massive red dildos down that lead, as long as you stay above it, to massive green dildos up. Right? That was an 8% down, held it, leading to a 22% move up. So in this perspective, you still need to be very cautious of, Bitcoin's still rolling over from here. Slight changes with the weekly. It's a good thing. Weekly 9, we need that to hold and really continue to hold. But, until you actually get another closure above it, it's just going to look a little tricky to me. You do still have the median on the weekly sitting at 6.37%. And understand you are still under it. So losing the weekly 9 now into this week, you should see no reason on why Bitcoin should not move up. Tether dominance should start moving down closer to that 5.69% for the culture. But if you start this week seeing Bitcoin really start moving down and Tether dominance making a move towards median, this will be a major cause of concern maybe this was a massive higher low on the monthly, and maybe you are going to get a massive bounce out of this region. So this week should be a week you're going to either see this or this, in my opinion. Now we'll keep monitoring that, but yeah, it seems pretty primed to see some kind of move out from here. And to me, as long as you're under that biweekly 34, I still have to be very cautious of the monthly still rejecting us. While this just simply puts in a monthly higher low. Monthly higher lows are not fun. They're very slow to develop. They often can have daily uptrends, 2-day uptrends, and even get big bounces. But a monthly higher low often does take time to develop. And as long as you're understanding that this is still in an uptrend, this will still keep you in check. So where we're gauging a monthly 9, we now have to look potentially at the scenario where the monthly EMA 5 will actually be the bounce spot. And so far, that is perfectly bounced us at this spot. So I still have to really go into crypto with caution. But 92.2 is support. Till you actually lose that, you're really not allowed to be too bearish here. So we can quickly get another short trade into today if you lose this 92.2, 91.3. But until then, gauging some kind of bounce here on Bitcoin. Be fully aware you have not really retested 95.5. The daily EMA 100. My apologies, it's Monday. So really, you're kind of just waiting for one of these to break. You are at the extremity low. So just be fully aware of that. While Tether dominance, it's funny, it's just at lower time frame resistance. You'll quickly know on Tether dominance if this is going to move up. What's the easy gauge here? Just get back above the 34. You get back above the 34 and hold it, you will start moving up on Tether dominance. And then that can be your easy trigger on, maybe this is going to start breaking out from here. Until then, you are at this zone, could easily reject. So just be fully aware. Today is not a day of positioning for me, just more a wait and watch, in my opinion. Let's go to Bitcoin dominance now. Let's go to the weekly. Okay, finally, something's changed here with Bitcoin dominance. Slightly, right? You didn't get back above the 21, and you did not get back above 59.69% for the culture. So nothing's too changed, but you did make that move to the 34. So now you're testing that 60%. This is a big spot for Bitcoin dominance. If you go to your monthly, you're not going to understand it. We've just tested the monthly 9 again, which has been a big spot of resistance since we lost it in August. So we want to be watching this zone very carefully. Same criteria this week. As long as you stay under the 34, you're not going to have any kind of bullish momentum on Bitcoin dominance. Notice even the rally stopped off the 34 on the weekly. So you need to be watching that very carefully. Now into this week, your objective as a bull, very easily get back above 59.69%. Let's get a little shift here, a level that's been holding us down. Let's really try to get back above that, giving us another shot at testing the 34, maybe into next week. You will mentally note this 59.69% for the culture is a very big dump zone, really. You've seen massive dumps off this region. We can keep looking here, observe here, and here, right? Massive dump zones at this spot. So you still need to be watching very carefully. No, actually, it's right here. Very carefully, this zone here. Still doesn't look quite out of the woods, and you're going to understand that this weekly now has the biggest volatility setup ever recorded on this chart. Getting back above the moving average slightly means this could start gearing up for a major move to the downside. You need to be watching very carefully. Once this weekly volatility starts firing off, you really can just drop. I mean, again, what I've been trying to show you here is in this exact spot, you can just drop very aggressively to the downside. Understand though, I'll quickly change my bias on Bitcoin dominance once you get back above the 34. And I've been saying that really since November, probably October actually here. Either October or November, we've just been consistently telling everyone, let's just wait, because with volatility setups often means chop zones. So no need to make it very hard for yourself trying to chop yourself out on a trade. You either wait for a weekly EMA 34 reclaim or very easily a weekly EMA 100 loss. Either or will give you a major move up or down. Weekly EMA 100 gets lost. Just look at the reaction here. Multiple weeks of just straight down. So I want to be watching that carefully. So we'll go back to Bitcoin really fast. We'll just show, right? We have two spots, very easy perspective. Let's go to CME real fast, see how the daily is. So daily on CME is slightly breaking down. Let's see here. You do preferably want to stay above 94K. We've talked about this on CME. 94K is an important spot. You've consistently seen that hold before big moves up. So, you're in a new weekly candle, no big deal. But this is why then the daily is going to be your friend if, this weekly closes in 4 days. So we need to be watching very carefully the daily close today. Still not really developing in anything for bulls or bears, especially with, a few hours to go. Now on CME, this is interesting. You have deviated that EMA 100. This is giving you more of a short bias here. right in that 94K region. And you can just easily see this 12-hour EMA 100, how important it is for all CME 12-hour. Right? Not ever a good sign when you deviate it. Look at the last major deviation here. Right, could just be in the midst of here. We're in a 12-hour EMA 100 short setup before a major leg down. So, like, you know, if you're being bullish off a weekly, it's good. The 5-day even too looks really good so far. But right, this is why 2 to 3 closures is important. Because if this daily 12-hour and even the 4-hour turns sour, you are going to be, you know, more cautious of maybe than a bad weekly. The 4-hour is interesting to me. It just gives you more confluence that, you know, you should bounce rather than dump here. You have a 4-hour EMA 100 deviation. Understand this works to upside too, and rather than down. We like to talk about it giving us an easy short, but if you continue to hold it, which look what continue to hold, you will just move up. You have a deviation setup as closer than 35 minutes. If you're longing, this was your long setup here. Really, honestly, you got your extremity low. Oh God. You have your extremity low. You have your bullish deviation. You have your throwback. You need to see your expansion out of here. If in 35 minutes, you see this 4-hour EMA 100 get lost, this will just play into, well, this looks very predatory in the lower time frames. Perhaps we are going to run these lows. And most importantly, that 12-hour EMA 100 will start working to the downside on CME. So actually in 35 minutes, we'll be able to really understand more carefully if this is going to move down or up today. If you end up losing this 4-hour EMA 100, understand that'll give you more of a bias of a breakdown. We often see pretty nice moves off of 4-hour EMA 100 up or down, granted in trending markets. And so if you are, you know, trying to look for a trade, well, you have one potentially into today. Once you lose a 4-hour EMA 100, as long as you stay under it, lower time frames will just be more bearish. If you reclaim a 4-hour EMA 100 and hold it, awesome. That's great. There's your deviation, your bullish retest, your expansion. So 4 hours actually telling a story. Let's watch that very carefully, specifically if you're trading today. This will give you an objective up to that 94.3. And that's where then you really just have to watch CME's 12-hour. Make it kind of easy for you, right? Just watch this 94.3 region. So that's all I have on Bitcoin. 92.2 to 95.5 is the new range. You're more closer to a bounce zone than not, but understand if this 4-hour EMA 100 gets lost within 35 minutes, this will be your first indication that this is probably going to run the lows again. Daily dependent now. If you lose 91.3 on a daily candle closure daily, right, this will start opening up that 86K short again. And that's where we'll be watching very carefully. If you do bounce from here, and you get back above 94.3, that'll open up a move back to around the daily EMA 100 where nothing will change. If this happens, nothing will change for me. This will be a trap. I'll have to look at this as a trap where we're taking out shorts and finally getting what we wanted here, which was a daily EMA 100 retest. The daily EMA 100 will always be retested. It just might take some time or not. But if you do end up bouncing here, you still have to be watching very carefully this setup that we talked about. Deviation, hard stop loss, scaling shorts here. So really, I mean, honestly, this week's going to be fun. We're in some pretty important zones. And if you end up bouncing out of here, reclaiming 95.5 and holding the daily EMA 100, this will just make a bigger case for bulls on, yeah, perhaps this region was a bottom. And perhaps we are going to start really busting up towards 102K. Still too early to really say, though. So watch your regions carefully. Watch 92.2 with your life. And really understand it's not bullish as long as you're under this EMA 100. And please don't forget that, well, Tether dominance monthly higher low still could be brewing here, potentially. So we'll have to see where that goes in February. But that's all I have on Bitcoin. Very interesting stuff, honestly.
Alrighty.
Let's get to it. My 20X had told me when we were at 95 that the zone was either 99.8 to the top or 9,800 to the bottom. And I'm using that plus the HPDR. I'm sure Mr. Farhano will have a detailed explanation because we were looking at the same area too. But that was awesome.
And I opened up a 100x long on Bitunix.
Look at you, you fucking dirty degenerate.
The Tranquilo 100x.
That's nothing great. Yeah, I was reading the chat the other day, and I can't remember what trade we did. I think it was the one from 91 to like 90, 97, 98, whatever it was, right? When we had like that grade long. And everyone was talking on the chat, and they're like, did you enter too? I enter on 20x, whatever. And everybody underneath is, nah, dude, this is ETA. We're not using pussy ass fucking leverage on 100, 150. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
My people.
Yeah, get it, sir.
Yeah, so we'll start with the daily. So now we are getting a little bit of a move down after tapping the 61.8%. We did get a close of the 38.2%, which does give us our breakout. And now we're coming back to retest this top 38.2%. We've come down to the median and we've come all the way down to our 21.55 EMA, but we are once again back above that 55. And if you notice, we are very close to getting a silver cross to the upside on the daily. As long as we are closing over $92,642, this is going to silver cross to the upside in one, maximum two more closes. And once you do get that cross, that is likely going to bring along with it a nice little pump ski that comes with the cross. And I do think this is going to be that move with the cross that takes you up to that 99 to 100-ish thousand dollar region. The area where you want to continue closing over to see that reattempt at this $94,000 area is this median at about 91,700. And as long as you are closing over this area, you're likely going to get another retest of the zone. And then closing over this area is what is the confirmation for that move, that final move upwards. Let's look at momentum currently. Momentum is currently flipped to the downside, approaching the neutral zone, still in the positive territory with volatility approaching extreme lows, sitting at 19% now. If you notice, we do have bearish divergence on the daily, which is now playing out, and we have tapped the easy target, which is this 21 EMA. And right now, to confirm a local bottom, you will have to close over $95,500. But as this goes on, it's going to be easier and easier to confirm. On this next close, it's going to be at around $93,632. And then that'll give you a target upwards of these current highs around $97,000 to $98,000. The daily jewel is also losing the buy signal and curving over into a neutral signal. And the jewel is also giving you bearish divergence. What time is it? 10:30. So the 8 hours about to close. Let's go look at that. 8 hours now starting to flip back up on momentum. We did make a lower low, so there's no possibility of divergence here with volatility going to an expansion phase. We haven't quite gotten out of the bearish control zone or of the moving average yet, so this is not really anything of significance on momentum. It is just taking up a little bit, and nothing really has changed until it gets out of the bearish control zone. And the jewel is now starting to play out a pretty bearish sell signal with the pink crossing below the yellow within the bullish control zone. So let's mark this off and see what this usually produces within the bullish control zone and see what type of results you get. Got that one right there. Get that one right there. Right over there. Alrighty. There we go. Oh, interesting. Caught basically the high. Your initial move was about 3.6%, and then you came down about 6.3%. This one's slightly off. Let me make sure it's right. A little bit early. Let's try it on the cross. Still a little off, but let's see how much of a move it was. About 1.6% against you, and then it played out pretty nicely. Wow, almost 17% in your favor versus less than 2% against you. That's more than 8 to 1 odds right there. Pretty good. What was the date on this? Oh, this was the October 10th correction or crash, whatever you want to say. Very funny how Bitcoin only went down 17% off of that, but XRP went down like 60%. Actually, I think it was closer to 70%. Because I remember us saying it was a bear market move in one candle. This went 0.3%, kind of washed 1% in both directions. And let's check this one. This one played out immediately. How much are we down so far? About 3%. So that is the minimum move, around that 3-ish to 3.5%. So if you were to take it the extended move to about 6%, brings us to about $89,250 to $89,300. And now let's take it just for funsies, that's 17%, although I don't think this is going to be the one. But we'll just take it for funsies. Brings us to about $79,000. Very interesting. And let's go to the 12-hour. Come on. It's lagging. There we go. 12 hours also giving us a breakdown, a loss of 38.2%, and we got momentum still flipped down. It is going like the daily, where it's ticking up a little bit, but it's still flipped to the downside. I believe that was the daily. No, that was the 4-hour, my bad. But which was over the 8-hour, which was ticking up, but still within the bearish control zone. And let's see if there's any divergence present on here. Daily does not have any bearish divergence. That's a little positive to see. Daily is very close to giving you a bearish cross between the yellow and the pink, though, but you haven't gotten it just yet. Currently, you still have the bullish cross active, which is the pink above the yellow. Once you take out this 100 EMA on or preferably the 55 actually on a 12-hour basis, this buy signal will be invalidated, and you're likely going to be testing somewhere around $87,000 to $86,000. It's a little lower. 4-hour also still a position to the downside. Currently, we're right at the moving average. So this is right around the zone where momentum could flip back up with volatility expanding. You just want to make a local bottom here, then momentum very likely will flip back up. And to make a local bottom, you need to close over $93,315, and then that'll give you a target up to somewhere around $94,500. Zoom in. See if there's any divergence. Quite. No, nothing here just yet. Let's zoom in on this low. It did make a lower low, so there's no divergence there. Okay. 2-hour. 2 hours already flipped back up, makes it more likely that 4 will flip back up. Volatility is currently contracting, and you're getting a nice retest of the median as of this moment, and getting a nice bounce from that median. You came exactly down to the median. So as long as you're closing over there, preferably this 200 SMA, you can get another try at 93,000. And then if you can get a close over 93,150, likely gets you that move back up to that 94, 95 area. And you are currently losing the sell signal on the jewel, flipping into a neutral. You're very close to forming some hidden bearish divergence, however, because you're close to taking out this high on momentum. Let me zoom in, make sure. Have you taken it out? You're just at that area, so I'm not sure if this is taking it out or not. I think it's slightly lower. So very close to taking out this high, and this high price was trading at around $95,000. At that point, you will be forming hidden bearish divergence unless you take out that $95,382 high on a closing basis. Once you take that out, there will no longer be possibility of hidden bearish divergence. But until then, once you make a local bottom, that will confirm the hidden bearish divergence, and you're going to have a target down to these lows, somewhere around $91,000. Alrighty. 2-day. 2-day, it's currently positioned to the downside with volatility contracting almost at extreme lows, and you're getting a nice move down to your bottom 38.2%. And as of now, you are bouncing from that 38.2%. Plus, now you are forming multiple drives of hidden bullish divergence because you have taken out this low and this low momentum while putting in 3 higher lows, giving you 3 drives of hidden bullish divergence. And this will confirm with any close over $95,635, and that gives you a target up to this 200 SMA right around 100,000 to 101,000. And you're making ever so slightly higher lows, and this is the first time you're testing that bottom 38.2% since you've gotten your breakout. 5-day. Go to the index for this. 5 days now closed on the previous candle below the median, but we opened above it, and now we are getting a move back down to retest that median zone. We're getting a bounce from exactly the median and the 9 EMA, and we're basically back over that 100 now, which we want to close over. We have a day and 9 hours left to go. That's sitting at about $92,900. The important part is closing over the median, because as long as we are closing over the median, that will give us probabilities of going to the top 38.2%, with momentum still flipped up and volatility at extreme lows and very close to zero now. And if you notice, that top 38.2% prophecy is the one from this 5-day silver cross to the downside, where if you go to every single one except the one on the COVID crash, you got an initial rally before getting that free move to the 200. And even on the one in the COVID crash, so 100% of the ones of the previous 5-day silver crosses, we got in a move to the 200 SMA. It's only that one where we didn't get the rally first, and that one we got the move down immediately within the next one candle or two candles into that 200 SMA. Whereas as of now, a lot more candles have passed, more close to the previous silver crosses to the downside. Where if you see you got your cross, you got your rally into the top 38.2%, and then you got your move down to the 200 SMA. And more importantly, you never take out that last major lower high. So let's go to this one. Oh, and by the way, yesterday was a bear moon. So it kind of makes sense to see a little bit of a dumpski. Here's the only one that went straight to the 200 SMA. You got your cross, and it went directly in that same candle to the 200 SMA. This is the only one that went directly. But if you notice, right before there, we did have a silver cross to the downside. We got a rally into the top 38.2%, and then we got a dump ski to the 200 SMA. Here we go, another example. You got your silver cross, you rallied to the top 38.2% right there, and you got some consolidation, and then your 200 SMA. Come on, TradingView. Don't do that. There we go. Silver cross, rally into the 200 SMA, less than $500 at like $470, and then you got your move to your free move to the 200 SMA. Now let's scroll up a little bit. Oops, I moved my main line. There we go. And as of now, we have not only the silver cross trend targeting this top 38.2% now, but we also have the HPTR rules of being over the median and holding over that median, which would give us a target of that top 38.2%, which as of now, it's going to change in 1 day and 9 hours. We have to see where it moves to, but as of now, it's sitting at around $103,800. And an exact rejection at this 38.2% would make it so that this last major lower high never gets taken out, just like all of the other ones. And then you get your free move to that 200 SMA, which right now is at about $71,100. And this is going to rise slowly with every single close. So if we were to take it from this top 38.2% and see how much risk you have here, this is 3.5% against you versus 31% in your favor. Pretty good. Not bad. That's almost 10 to 1 right there. And what you're also forming on this 5-day, like you did in every single one of the previous ones in the 5-day silver cross, is now you're forming multiple drives of hidden bearish divergence, because you've taken out this high here, you've taken out this high here, you've taken out this high here, and you've taken out this high here. And this is the high that we on momentum that we were at when price was trading at all-time highs. And as of now, we've been around like $30,000 below our current all-time highs and the high of this rally. Even if we go up to 103, that's still going to be $23,000 below our all-time highs, while we've taken out the momentum by a lot. It gives you a very significant drive of hidden bearish divergence. And as of now, it's going to be a little difficult to confirm, but the higher you go, the easier it's going to be to confirm. Right now, you have to close below 89,226 to confirm it, and that gives you your move to 71.1. But once you go up into this area, it's going to be in the 100 to high 90s to confirm that bearish divergence, and then you get your easy move to the 200 SMA at that point. The invalidation for this is just getting a 5-day close below the median, and then you're going to dump. And right now the median is sitting at around 92.9. Actually, I think it's slightly lower. It's at 91.9, my bad. And the 5-day jewel still playing out the buy signal within the bearish control zone. Weekly is currently flipped to the upside on momentum. Weekly is now getting to the reset zone with volatility at extreme lows, approaching 0%, starting to tick up from this 0% area, with the weekly jewel still playing out the buy signal, giving you multiple closures. I believe 2 closures now within that buy signal. And we've gotten a weekly rejection of the the median, but what's important is that the weekly closed back over the 9 EMA. And this is the first time the weekly has closed back over the 9 EMA since price was at around, we've been all the way since here, when price is at about $114,527. Long time since we've been away from that 9. So that is a very significant development to have closed over the 9. Not necessarily significant enough to take us to new all-time highs. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But enough to get a test of this 21, sitting at around $98,000 area. And at that point, do you think you're going to bust up a little bit to tag that 5-day 38.2%? Get your nice rejection at that point, put in that 5-day hidden bearish divergence, and then you get a dump ski. And then what's going to come along with that is the weekly is about to give you a silver cross to the downside. And once that does cross, likely comes with a nice dump associated with it, and that's what probably starts your move towards that 200 SMA on the fight. I'm just curious to see, zoom in on this. We are now also forming that hidden bearish divergence on the weekly as well. That's not good. Let's see how much of a move this usually produces on this buy signal and see how much we've done so far. This isn't going to be significantly weaker because the buy signal happened right at the edge of the bearish control zone. So let's take it from here. And we'll take one more. I think that's good actually. This is the God mode signal, so it's gonna mess up the numbers a little bit. So we'll just omit that one. We're using fancy words like omit.
Are you also counting in and considering for your analysis the fact that aliens might crash the stock market in England? Only in England.
I have not considered that part. I have not.
Okay, so I'll wait for you to introduce that into your analysis. Thank you.
Okay, so then abajo. I covered the Spanish part too.
By the way, you know that's true, right? That they're saying that
really?
well, it's not true that it's going to happen, but this is a literal piece of news. Like if you look it up, Bank of England, aliens crashed. Look that up and you'll see. It's the stupidest thing I've ever read in my life. That's why I was like, all right, we got to go long.
Time to go balls to the walls long.
But by the way, the people definitely that believe that the tariffs were the ones who caused the market to crash, alongside with the people that thought inflation was coming, that's still waiting for it. Those people will believe that the aliens are going to crash the stock market in England.
Inflation is totally coming back. I can see it. I can see all of the inflation coming back.
I can see it. I bought this scan disk memory disk, and it's double what it cost. Yeah, I know the car that I came here was in a deep discount, and yeah, the fuel and the gas was cheap as fuck. And yeah, also living is coming down, and the house that I'm staying at to stay here is way cheaper. But did you see that little fucking floppy disk that went up in value? So there you go. Inflation's here. That's what I read.
Inflation is clearly coming back because I tried to buy a Birkin from Hermes that they sell for $10,000 in the store, but I couldn't find it for any cheaper than $30,000.
Right? Yeah. Or if you try to buy a limited edition Bugatti, they want more money. It's inflation.
Not like rich people who always have money and always want to buy nice shit. But for just a little disclaimer, I'm gonna say I don't think we're gonna get this 46% move on this run. Neither will we get an 86% move. I'm open to being wrong, but
never say never. Come on.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm open
to
being
the aliens
wrong.
are actually bullish.
Yeah. What if it's bullish invasion? Haven't you heard?
Yeah. What if the aliens are coming to market buy?
What if aliens are buying? Fuck the Saudis. What if the aliens buy now?
They got more money than the Saudis. That's the rumor that I heard.
Yeah, the aliens have an unlimited supply of gold.
That's right, because we've been selling to them forever.
And isn't it funny how every single time that gold goes on one of these parabolic runs, you always see Saudi Arabia has uncovered this many million metric tons of gold.
They do it for you to dump your gold. I learned that the hard way when they announced the whatever amount in Congo.
And then a bunch of people start selling, and The top is in. Saudi Arabia has put in the top. Then you
But
get a God dildo.
And I gotta say, for these things that they're using against people, people have gotten so retarded that now that these things are announced, are way easier to see. You know what I mean? Like at first, it was like, man, is this true or not? Like, I'm gonna fucking believe this because maybe they found more gold and whatnot. But now it's gotten to the point where people are so fucking retarded and they'll believe anything. Where you look at these pieces of news, like for example, the Bank of England says the economy is going to crash along with the stock market because of aliens, for example, right? Like, I can't believe that's a real headline. But there are people like screaming that the market's going to open lower on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it's closed today.
Yeah, that's why we're only doing crypto today.
Oh yeah, I
It's
actually thought it was
MLK
open.
Day.
I forgot you guys don't speak Spanish, so you didn't understand when I said that.
Yeah, because everyone's
Hey.
talking about market crash on open.
Tuesday.
So I thought it was today, but yeah, I guess Tuesday. Put it on your calendars, and I guess dump tomorrow, not today.
That's it. It's planned. Guys, if it's in the news, you know it's true.
Plan dumping.
So plan dump.
A plan dump,
Everybody collectively sell everything at 9:30 in the morning tomorrow.
That's right. That's fucking right. And then inflation is going to come in right after the market crashes. Inflation is going to knock on everyone's door and just fuck them in the ass while they're standing. It's pretty crazy. The economic times we're living right now are crazy.
Sounds like a bad porno.
Yeah.
I usually skip this part.
I'm not here for the intros and all that stuff. I'm here for the actual action, sir.
The action. So on this one, the initial move is 8%. I'm thinking somewhere around that is where we're gonna get. I don't even know if I should bother measuring all of this. 180%. Although I'm taking it up the ass via the Mexican peso at the moment.
Don't you worry about my gun, Ricky Bobby. You got between now and summer. After the summer, it has to change completely.
The ATM's giving me less than 17 pesos on the dollar.
Oh, I also love that about Mexico. And pretty much, honestly, every single other world, every other country except like Europe, where you go to the airport or you exchange your pesos anywhere, and it's like, nah, dude, it's like 10-1. And if you're going on the other end, they'll also fuck you. So no matter what you do, they're selling it to you for either way less or way more, depending on where it's swinging.
And the secret that I found out is all these companies are all the same company. They just use different names, so you think you're getting a deal.
Yeah. You don't remember, but I tried to open a fucking bank in Mexico with a currency exchange and crypto and all that stuff. It's the same two people. It's two fucking old men that don't want to do anything new.
Yeah. So and it's the same thing with the taxis too. It's all the same company, and they just have different signs up and slightly different prices, and they're all willing to negotiate the same price.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Now, you figure out the world, sir. There you go.
Just live in Mexico for a little bit.
Yeah. It'll open your eyes to a lot of shit.
But it's nice. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So we've currently done about 11%, and the medium move, if we minus the 46% move, would be somewhere around 16 to 17%. So if we would take it 16 to 17%, wow, would you look at that? Brings us exactly to 102 to 103. Very interesting. Exactly with that 5-day 38.2%. That's pretty cool. Muy frío, muy cool.
They say cool too, asshole.
Oh.
Oh, eso está cool.
Es cool. Es muy cool.
Yeah.
On the 2-week, we're also getting momentum flipping up, getting over that moving average. Volatility is contracting, telling you likely you're going to find a lower high off of this. 2-week jewel still playing out that sell signal with the pink crossing below the yellow. And as of now, you do have a rejection of your 9 EMA, and the the more important thing you want to say is that you've opened above the 61.8%, so that it does give you an invalidation, very clean invalidation. Where if you close below the 61.8%, that's what likely starts your dump towards that 5-day 200 SMA. But as long as you are holding that to 61.8%, more likely you are going to get a move up towards the 50%. And the 50% right now also sits at a very nice number of 103,200, almost exactly at that 5-day 38.2%, and fills out that 17% move to the upside. Monthly currently still flipped down. Monthly very close to testing the edge of that bearish control zone, and this is the area where we likely get a rejection, because this is the first time we've entered into the bearish control zone of this entire bull market, and likely we're going to get one of these type of moves here where we come into the bearish control zone, try to get a retest or rejection right off the lower high at $47,500, and then you get your move into the bearish control zone. And as of now, slightly higher would bring us to somewhere around that $100,000 region, get a test of that bearish control zone, nice rejection, and then your bear market move starts with that nice 60 to 70% move down. And if you notice on the monthly jewel, we're also getting, for the second time in history, pink below yellow cross within the bullish control zone. And the last time we had this cross was on that same 47,000 lower high. From there, we went to Luna for about $17,000. And this is happening, and I mean the cryptocurrency, not the cat. And this is happening significantly higher than the previous pink below yellow cross that we had on the Luna collapse. This is happening previously. It was around the 66, 65 area on the jewel. Now we're getting the cross around the 70 to 75 area, which is just below the critical zone. So in terms of like technical wise, this should be a more powerful move than this one here. And we also completely skipped the neutral phase and went directly into the sell phase, where here we had a neutral phase and we still saw a 70% move down. Now we just went directly to sell. The only other time in Bitcoin's history that we went directly to the sell from the buy signal on the monthly was in the 2018 bear market. 2018 bear market was around, I believe, 80 to 85% down. Just for funsies, I just want to see what price would be if we were to take 85% from our all-time highs. Oh, good Lord. 80% brings us to around $25,000. The number that we previously gave out for the RSI bearish divergence target, which would have been the most bearish one, is at 26,600. Where's 26,600? I believe it's right around the breakout zone. Yeah, this is where the bull market initially started, right around this area, 26,800, 26,600. If you were to just draw like a vertical or a horizontal line right here, between this close, this one open, this line could I guess be considered as your bull market support. I hate that term because that's what Benjamin Cowan calls for those EMAs, which kind of don't really mean anything. But this is more like a
bull market support band. It's very important, guys. He's, by the way, Benny's pretty good. He's the best trader out there of Bitcoin and cryptos, in my opinion.
He's great.
Maybe not trader, but understands like bigger moves.
Yeah, minus altcoins though. Not good at those at all.
Because he's a big trend guy, right? So he just looks at it and goes like, dude, your altcoins are shit. He doesn't get into trades. That's so I think that's where he gets most of his bullshit.
Because altcoins, they're way more fucky, and he doesn't have a way to implement that fuckiness.
Yeah, it's yeah, absolutely. Just think he's really good with Bitcoin. Although he should go out there and get some sun.
Oh, he is very blanco. Very
Muy
blanco. So we do have something that lines up with that $26,000 area. This is the initial zone where we broke out from on the monthly. And that would be about an 80% move down from our all-time highs. Whereas everyone's now conditioned to think every bear market goes a little bit less than the previous one. And the previous one was around 70%. So maybe this one will be 60%, not 80%. And then we get the 80% move. And quarterly is also positioned to the downside. Same idea as a quarterly, coming up to retest the edge of the bearish control zone after making it into the bearish control zone, getting your rejection at this zone, and then getting your real bear market move. And you got quarterly jewels losing the buy signal, flipping into a neutral, plus getting the God mode background. Every single time that you've lost the buy signal and flipped into a neutral has been a start of the bear market. And then the God mode signal plays out, and you get a really nice move down. And last time was right around the quarterly, actually it's the 6-month 21. 6-month 21 EMA is basically the zone where we bottomed at last time around, and that 6-month 21 right now sits at right around like $44,000. The exact area we bottomed at was the 100% on the HPDR, and if you look at the 100% right now, where does it sit? $25,400. 100%, right to a T.
That would be crazy. But credit crunch should take us there.
And also something else very interesting. Here's the COVID crash. Where did it go do? Exactly the 100%.
Isn't
So
it,
maybe
by the way, isn't it incredible that people are looking at this and understanding, like, for example, we go every now and then and put, like, if Bitcoin were going to liquidate all longs, it would go here and then it would go up. And then Bitcoin does exactly that. And people still legitimately think the market's moving on its own. Is it? No, like,
yeah, you can just predict the future. It's not that it's manipulated.
yeah. It's still my favorite part is the people that are like, they manipulated Bitcoin this weekend. Yeah, only this weekend. Absolutely.
They don't do it every second of every day.
What a life. I'm telling you, those people are waiting for the aliens to fucking take down the Bank of England.
And also looking at simply the candle. I don't see how putting in one of the most toppiest of top candles I've ever seen tells you we're going to go to new all-time highs from here.
Well, but the news says otherwise, dude. Listen, the power of the news is I actually have understood how incredible it is. It was so incredible that everyone saw everything on discount everywhere and still said that prices and inflation were coming hard. You know what I mean? Like, they never gave him permission to say no. No one has said, by the way, inflation never came. No one. They still either think it or it's completely deleted from their brain. They made a fool out of them. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
while you can just walk outside and go into any store and look at the prices and the discounts, and still they fooled you because in the news it said inflation was coming. And this applied to people that went to college, okay, for economics and finance.
I feel like for a lot of people, going to college makes them dumber.
I think so too. I legitimately, yeah, that's a big sign because he doesn't. Maybe it doesn't make you dumber, but what he does, he completely blindfolds you to the truth, to everything. Because now you depend on the book says and the theory says, therefore it has to work that way. So therefore you can never look outside of the box. That's what the trap for college and school is, really. It doesn't let you look around.
It doesn't matter that when there actually was inflation, if you wanted to go and buy a Model 3, it would have taken you like 3 months to get it or 4 months, and now you can go and buy one off the lot for like $300 a month.
Once again, G-Wagons, you could get one before the pandemic for $180, and then 2 years later, $400,000. That's inflation. That's inflation. That's a regular car. And now they're $140,000. But yeah, inflation's coming. The US dollar is going to go to zero.
I mean, they're putting specials on Revueltos.
Yeah, dude, have you seen them? They're $500,000.
I saw an STL which was going for 100,000 less than what they were doing just a few months ago, right around 300K. Beautiful STO.
Unbelievable. Yeah, this inflation is crazy. I've never seen inflation that brings discounts, but hey, that's what the government says, so it must be inflation.
It has to be because the number I saw posted on Twitter says there's inflation.
That's right.
Don't forget the tariffs too. The tariffs.
Oh man, the tariffs really brought in the mega inflation. Crazy tariffs. Crazy.
Hand in hand. Key and key. They go together. Peanut butter and jelly.
But remember that one scan disk fucking memory thing went up. So everyone that said inflation was coming was right. Even though they said it's a brilliant idea to go buy a car right now, and then the cars kept coming down in price. Yeah, those geniuses really nailing it. Really, really nailing it.
Front running it.
I still don't understand how hard is it to just go outside and look at prices.
Or even go to places. Honestly, you start going to at least we're in Mexico here. You start going to places pretty much dead except on Sunday. Maybe
Same
Saturday.
here.
People
Yeah.
aren't shopping really, and you go to stores and look at how many people have shopping bags. Honestly,
No. I used to. We go to Mastros here, which is supposed to be a nice restaurant, whatnot, right? And we're by the water, so it's like the one that people want to go to. We called the day that we want to go, and we can get a reservation, no fucking problem.
Yeah, honestly, like all these nice places here, no one's really there. It's often just
the only place I've had an issue with is the one in Mexico City, Pujol. You never get in there.
Oh, because that. And by the way, they're empty. They pretend it's packed the whole time just for. Because when I went to Mexico City, I called, and they told me to fuck off. And then my friend got me the reservation there that same day. And when I went, there was no one. There was like maybe 6 tables.
it's the illusion.
It's the illusion, dude. It's like when you go to a club and it's like a huge line outside, and then you walk in and there's no one inside.
Or like e-commerce when they put there's 10 left in stock. And
and they keep showing you. There's a few that even show you like this guy's buying it, this guy's buying it, this guy's looking at it, right?
This many
brilliant.
people.
I'm just like, please take my money, and they say no, we don't want it.
Yeah, no, they don't give a fuck. It's whether you know someone that can get you in or not. Period.
Hey, so maybe next time your boy goes to Mexico City, maybe make a call.
I'll fucking tell him.
Mazel tov.
Jewish things.
That'll be very impressive for the swagger if we can get in there.
I don't even know.
All right, so on the daily RSI, we have
like a hype restaurant.
Yeah, it's like a Michelin-starred restaurant.
Yeah, I see.
To most Mexicans, the way they look at it is, I'm not paying 500 pesos or 1,000 pesos for a taco, because it's like, you know, when you go somewhere and they give you like small meals and it's like 7 or 9 plates, dishes that they bring you. It's kind of like that.
Nice.
But it's fucking really good. I think it's totally worth it.
I've seen pictures of grasshoppers there, and I wouldn't eat grasshoppers anywhere else, but I might try them there.
Yeah, dude. It's awesome.
And that's saying a lot, fine, honestly.
Yeah. He'll wear the glove, though.
I'll wear the glove, absolutely. I'm going to bring my own gloves.
I understand.
The white Lamborghini gloves. So on Tether, we are making a local bottom here on within the bearish control zone, and that would give us a target to the neutral zone, which we've already tapped now. And if we can get a close over that neutral zone, that would give us a target towards the bullish control zone. The neutral zone is currently at about 6.13%. Oh, actually, remember, that's a bullish control zone. At 5.89%, which we are over at the moment, and the bullish control zone would bring us slightly higher to around 6.13%. So that would be Bitcoin's move down to somewhere around $89,000 to $89,300 area. And we are getting volatility contraction while we are getting this local bottom. And this is very close to silver crossing to the downside, by the way. Like the daily on Bitcoin is very close to silver crossing to the upside. This will silver cross if you get a close below this 55 at about 5.999% area. Before actually, let's go to 8 hour because we just got a close. 8 hours within the bullish control zone, still holding the 55. 12 hours still has regular bullish divergence. This will be active as long as you're closing over 5.754%. And your next target on that is going to be the neutral zone, which is very close right now. It's at about 6.08%. And volatility is almost back to extreme lows. 4 hour making a local top and validating the hidden bullish divergence, but 4 hours very close to giving you a silver cross to the upside. So if you do see a move to the downside from here, this 9 should hold as support while you get this cross. That move into the 200 SMA at around 6.15, 6.16%, which would be the target of your 12-hour bullish divergence. And that will be Bitcoin getting slightly moved lower to somewhere around 89-ish, 90,000. And volatility is pretty close to being topped out here. Nothing. Nothing. Are we making? Nope, lower lows, so no divergence. Nope, nothing there. Nope. 2 weeks still has that fresh silver cross, and we got that move to the 21. Still looking bullish, although you're getting some volatility contraction now. Monthly is getting a bounce from the 5, making its way into the bullish control zone with volatility expansion now from that 15% area. Quarterly with that very monstrous close, and we're getting a move down to the 5 EMA right now. So if we took a little bit lower, that would take us down to the quarterly 9, and that would be Bitcoin getting that move to 100,000. And 6 month also getting a bounce off that 5 after reclaiming it. Now let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin daily is now forming hidden bullish divergence because we did take out this previous low on momentum while price is still making a higher low. To confirm this, you will have to close currently over about 95.5, but as you go on, this is going to be easier to confirm. And then once you do once you do confirm that, that'll give you a target towards 98,000, 98,100, somewhere between there and 100,200. And that would be the simple moving average. It does make sense to get a rejection of that simple moving average now because this was the area where you flip back up from beforehand at the simple moving average. That'll flip support into resistance, right around 100,000. For making a local bottom, that would target the simple moving average that is currently at around 94,000. Nothing. 12 hours got bearish divergence. We've hit the easy target, which is the edge of the bullish control zone. Next target is the neutral zone at around 91.2. Local bottom on the 2 hour, but no divergence. And hourly put in a fresh drive of bullish divergence on this last close, and this will be active as long as you're closing over 92,770, and your next target is the critical zone, which currently sits at about 84.8. Nothing. Nothing. You're making a local top, but you are getting your easy moving out to the neutral zone. 5-day currently forming hidden bearish divergence. Same on the RSI. 6-day still has active that hidden bullish divergence with volatility back at 0% now. And we did get a fresh 6-day close, which was back over the 6-day 9, and this is kind of consolidating here right above that 9 EMA for that move slightly higher. And that move into the 55 is currently sitting at about 98,000 roughly. See if that lines up with any of our RSI zones. 98,000 is the edge of the bearish control zone, 98.7. So likely this is going to be one of those moves where the volatility starts expanding when you tap somewhere around 99 to 102, and then you get your real volatility expansion off that rejection. And the invalidation is simply taking out 107.5, and then you're likely going to go higher. Although it's very unlikely you will take out 107.5 based off of that 5-day silver cross trend, which you've never taken out the previous lower high. Any divergence? Zoom in. You're making a little inverse head and shoulders here on the RSI also, which would also target the edge of the bearish control zone at around that 98,000 area. It's lagging. Hold on. Oh my god, trading views running like shit. Come on. Please work. Let me refresh. I'll close my other tab. Maybe that'll make it better.
Why, you got stuck?
Yeah, it started lagging really hard.
There you go.
Verify status. What? No, I don't want to do this.
Declare.
It's asked me this before.
Declare.
It's like we want to know. We want to know if you're a professional,
It's-
non-professional. There we go.
It's so funny, no?
Fuck. I don't want to
Just-
do this.
Just do it right here in front of everyone.
Come on.
Come
Let me
on,
open
don't be a
up another
pussy.
tab.
Just put all of your personal information right there. What's the worst thing that could happen? Here, I'll put my chart. You do your thing. No one can see your screen now. You can finish your.
Damn
You're
it.
set.
And they've
almost-
also asked me before. Sorry.
Oh, we almost got your info. Almost.
Almost. They're asking me what my source of income is now.
See, there you go. Tell them it's the lottery.
I don't see a lottery option.
KYC by TradingView is crazy, honestly.
God damn, this really worked. Well, not yet. We got to go a little lower. Come on. Just give me this point. The 9,478. It'll be glorious. It'll be good.
Job responsibilities. I'm putting shit posting. It's not.
You're
it's not
what?
that. Yeah, I'm putting shit posting for job responsibilities.
Nice. That's, by the way, a lot of people like myself make a decent living doing that.
Shit posting.
It's like, what do you do for a living? I just ruin my reputation online with everything I say.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, they accepted it. Nice.
Oh, good.
Good. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
No credit card info, you sure?
Yeah. No social security information or nothing.
Let's do it.
Let's go back to. All right. I guess that's why it started lagging. They wanted to KYC me.
What
Because
do
now
you
it's
mean?
working smooth. They wanted me to run the income verification.
Got it.
It's good they don't ask for pay stubs or some shit. We want to see
Imagine
tax
just
returns.
by the way, just to use a fucking app. You're not trading
Only-
out of it, right?
No.
Yeah. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, KYC
weird.
like on TradingView because we don't trade on it. It's kind of crazy. Doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
No, I think they're being racist against you. That's
Yeah,
it.
it's because of my name, and it's because I live in Mexico.
They read your name and were like, I don't think so, buddy.
Not only are you Pakistani, but now you're Mexican too. Pick a struggle, buddy. So on the 12-hour, we are now forming hidden bullish divergence because we have taken out this previous low momentum while price is still making a higher low. To confirm this, we will need to get a close over this high here, which is at 97,913, and that'll give us a target up towards somewhere around 100 to 103,000 on confirmation. 2 week is also forming hidden bullish divergence now, and this will confirm with any close over same number, 97,900, and that gives us a move upwards, towards somewhere that same zone. And then if you can get it even a tick past 107.5, then that'll give you a next target of 117.3. Monthly is also forming hidden bullish divergence because we've taken out this previous low momentum while price is still making a higher low on a closing basis. And this will confirm with any close over 94,635, and that'll give us a target towards new all-time highs at 132,000 or 130 to 132,000. Although it's very unlikely you will see that confirmation of this divergence. It does give you a nice invalidation though, and volatility is now at extreme lows. And quarterly has confirmed that hidden bearish or regular bearish divergence, which makes it less likely or very less likely that monthly will confirm the hidden bullish divergence. And this will be active as long as you're closing below 114,036. And your easy target off of that bearish divergence is going to be somewhere between the bullish control zone and the simple moving average. And that gives you a range between 70,700, so say 71,000 and 66,000. And your next target, which is going to update with every single close, is at around 19.5. So it's approaching that 25,000 number. And 6 months is now forming a third drive bearish divergence, and this will confirm with any close below $80,600, and that gives you easy target down to this 21 EMA, which if you were to put it with just a line off of this last closing high, puts you around $45,000 to $44,000. This is the area. Oh fuck! This is the area where your last bear market did bottom, right around that 21 EMA. And if you were to go below, that would take you back to that $20,000 zone. Now we will go into momentum. Alrighty. Daily momentum is freshly turned down, and it is rejecting the critical zone, and it's going to be or the bullish control zone, and it's going to critical zone, my bad, and it's going to be flipped down as long as you're closing below $97,000. And daily is forming bearish divergence here because you did make a lower high on momentum, which is confirmed, and you've got the easy target so far, which is your 55 and 21 EMA, and you're still within the bullish control zone. Go to 8 hour, just gotta close. 8 hour is now very extreme to the downside. This is the area where it becomes easier to flip back up, and it is going to be flipped down as long as you're closing below $94,200. Let's zoom in a little bit. 8 hour did take out this previous low on momentum, forming 8 hour hidden bullish divergence, which will confirm if we can flip this back up, and that'll target these previous highs right around 97 to 98,000 on confirmation. 4 hours also very close to flipping back up, and this will flip back up if you can close over $92,800. And if you notice, 4 hour is making lower lows while making a higher low on momentum, giving you possibility here for bullish divergence. And this will confirm if you flip this back up, which we are currently over the pivot. And if that bullish divergence does confirm, it gives you a target back up somewhere between 95 to 96,000. A little lower. This is like we already flipped back up. Yep, 2 hours already flipped back up now with volatility starting to contract from extremes, and is going to remain flipped up as long as you're closing over $92,700. I'm curious, how much have we moved down from the bear moon? Let's see, from the 18th bear moon.
A bear.
The Oso moon. Luna de Oso.
Did you guys see the video I uploaded on X about the fucking thing floating on top of my house?
I haven't opened X in a few days.
Yeah, I saw that, actually.
I'll send you this. That, dude, that was the weirdest, because I live by the airport. I'm 8 minutes away from an airport, so there's a lot of planes here. And that fucking thing was like floating around my neighborhood, and then it went and stopped right behind my house. It went up. It looked like a star for like 20 minutes, and then it came back down and did the same thing. I've seen a UFO before. I'll say it. I've seen two with other people, so that people don't think I'm crazy. And Belen saw this one too. It's not a drone. It didn't make any noise. It didn't fly the way, and he was like in airport airspace. So I'll send it to you right now. Sorry. Go on.
That's really interesting. I've seen something similar from my balcony where there's this one like bright light, which we assume is a star, but it's the other time we saw it was in a completely different location from it usually is at.
Yeah, that's not normal. I have
And just
no
the way it
idea.
was flying and the colors, your video was very odd. I was in bed looking at it, and I was thinking to myself, "Huh, maybe it's Israel flying over you."
It could be, yeah. And you see how he dances like from one side to another. It was like just think about like a broomstick that's completely a light, and it just like it was like standing up, and it would like dance in the air. It was really fucking weird. No sound. Like I can hear it when the planes and helicopters and everything are flying over. You can hear the bzzz or the plane. Nothing. And also you can hear the drones. Like when there's a drone, it's like zzz. This one is not a drone, and it stayed up there for way too long to be a drone. I sent it to you.
Make sure you don't have any pagers in the house if it is them.
Listen, dude, if you understood what I think about aliens, there's no fear on that. It's just not aliens, those things.
Because you'll hear your pager ringing, you'll see a shalom message, and then
Shalom.
Go to the 2-day. I'll go to the index for a little bit more accurate numbers. And 2-day is currently freshly flipped to the downside, and it's going to remain flipped down as long as you're closing below $93,450. And this is still within the bullish control zone, getting a bounce from your 21 currently. The invalidation will be getting a close below the 21, then you're likely going to come back to revisit somewhere around 87 to 85,000. 5 days still flipped up with volatility back at extreme lows, very close to getting another volatility setup, and you're currently flipped up as long as you're closing over $84,500. Weekly is also flipped up with volatility contracting, and it's going to remain flipped up as long as you're closing over $86,800. And pretty close to that weekly silver cross. 2-week also currently, 2-week is currently flipped down, but very close to flipping back up. The pivot did go down from the last close. I don't remember what it was at, so let's do the bar replay real quick. Start new. This is very annoying to do on a touchpad. Pivot was previously almost $115,000, $114,700, and the pivot is now, come on, now about 90,000. But let's close this.
90,000?
Yeah, now it's $90,200. It was previously 114,800. So if you were to come down to that $89,000 to $90,000 area, that would just be a tap of the 2-week pivot. And and we have a derp of life here also. And we're forming hidden bullish divergence because we do have a higher low from this low here with a lower low momentum. This will confirm with the close over. Actually, this will just confirm with the flip back up with a close over $90,000. So within this next 2 weeks, bears got to push this below $90,000. And if this does flip back up, that gives you targets at a minimum towards that low 100,000 area. With volatility now in expansion phase. Although technically this is still firing off a downside setup, so that makes it more likely that price will go below 90,000 before this close. So ideally, I'd like to see that move up to the 100,000 rejection within this next 2 weeks. Monthly also flipped to the downside with volatility now going into an expansion phase, getting right over that moving average. And we are going to be flipped down as long as we're closing below $117,200. And monthly also has possibility for hidden bullish divergence here, but you have to close over 117.5 to flip that up. On the other side, the number is much lower. It's at 94,635. And if you can confirm that on the monthly close, over that 94,635, you're likely going to go new all-time highs. Although it's very unlikely that's going to happen. More likely you're going to get your rejection and then close below before the end of the month, which then continues the 5 days silver cross setup to the downside. Quarterly also freshly flipped down, losing the bullish critical zone, and you're going to remain flipped down as long as you're closing below about $108,000. And every single time in the past the quarterly has flipped down, it has been the start of your bear market. And this is also the first time in history that the quarterly is losing the critical zone. 6 month also forming that bearish divergence, but 6 month needs to close below 80,619 to confirm, and then that gives you an easy move down to the $40,000 zone. So in the high time frames, it is still very heavily in bear control. You put in quite the top candle in the 6 month, plus you got possibility for 3 drives of bearish divergence. The quarterly, you've already confirmed the bearish divergence. Also put in quite a top candle with bearish engulfing dildo. You're getting your easy move so far, which is the bounce from that quarterly 9 EMA, plus that move towards the top end of the 38.2% on that 5-day silver cross trend, which every single one of them, except for the COVID crash, got the move up to the top 38.2% before getting your free move to the 200 SMA. And as of now, we are pretty close. We came pretty close to that top 38.2%, went back to $97,900, almost $98,000. The target has been around 99 to low 100,000 for minute, very close to tapping that. Once we do get that rejection of that top 38.2% on the 5-day, and it's below that previous major lower high of 107.5, the second you put in a local top there, even on a daily basis, which is not going to be very difficult to confirm, you will start confirming bearish divergences and hidden bearish divergences across the board. Once the 5-day confirms that hidden bearish divergence, you get your free move to that 200 SMA. And your invalidation is very simple with just taking out that previous lower high of 107.5. As long as that doesn't get taken out, you're very likely to get that free move towards the low 70,000 area.
All righty. Thank you, senor. Let's do Ethan Sol and then we'll fuck off.
Alrighty, I'll do whichever.
Oh, look at natural gas.
Oh, nice little pump ski.
Yeah, well, that's what we
What
were
is
talking
it?
about on Friday. Well, I was
Okay.
talking about on Friday. Energy.
What was the stock we were looking at?
This is natural gas, all spelled in caps with a 1 exclamation at the end. That's the futures. You can see it here.
Natural gas stock too.
You see it?
Yeah, no, I see natty gas.
Now look at this bullshit. 18% pump. Not bad. Not bad. Estamos viendo el gas natural. Vamos a acabar esto.
It was
Yeah.
my bad. It was ATO, I think. Atmos Energy is what we were looking at.
That was the other one, yeah.
Yeah, which it did break the trend, so it's in higher high now with that volatility setup firing off on the daily.
Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. Look at us, huh?
Yeah, not a bad call, honestly, because you were talking about this scenario exactly playing out.
Well, energy, dude. I invested in my investment in the energy company that I did. It's the best investment I've ever made so far, and it's one of the things that got me so fucking pumped. It's the fact that we're gonna run out of electricity energy like soon, unless they do something crazy. So prices have been coming down so much, and everyone's like, remember we talked about the oil in Venezuela and that should plummet. Afterwards, I thought about it, and I was like, nope. That's what everyone thinks, because once I see like Gareth translating it, he's like, oh, guys, oil's going to plummet. I'm like, okay, we're going up. We're going up. It's those little things. And in order for me to get out of my own head too, I need to watch other people say the same dumb bullshit that I said so that I realize. So this is going to go much higher along with oil and other shit. So let's get it together. All righty. Gas natural, damas y caballeros, teniendo un pompazo de 18%. Platicamos el viernes de la crisis de energía que se viene. Enhorabuena, Alejandro. Enhorabuena. ¿Quién te puta madres viera? ¿No? En fin. Fue una de mis mejores inversiones y mis inversiones favoritas en Bioesol, que también lo hicieron los del Fondo de Emprendeduros conmigo. Y es por esto, porque va a haber una crisis energética rica para adelante. No hay suficiente energía para todo lo que se está haciendo y también tenemos que rehacer mucho del grid. Así que ahí lo tienen, damas y caballeros. Vamos rápido a Bitcoin antes de ir y acabar esto en putiza. Cosas que les quería enseñar rápido. Tengo mis ranguelos. Ahí están. Simplemente para regresar a los rangos, damas y caballeros. Este es el de 93,800. Aquí abajo, 92,100, 92,200, que es el siguiente que vamos a pelearnos con. Pueden ver que lo vino a tocar perfectamente y deliciosamente. Acá lo que nosotros pensamos en lo que estamos viendo Bitcoin en un gráfico diario es que Bitcoin va a venir a hacer esto para ir para arriba. Lo habíamos pintado antes, creo que lo borré. Era en este gráfico que lo borré. No, aquí está. Este fue la del viernes y fue literalmente hacer esto, Nada mal, pero estamos simplemente viendo dentro del rango. Vas a la primera zona de fricción y la segunda que tiene confluencia con esto, y además para hacer una zona bastante chingona. Me gusta esto. ¿Por qué? Y ahí les va el por qué. Para mí, antes de subir, Bitcoin tiene que siempre hacer la misma gatada, porque no es un mercado libre. Es un mercado manipulado al 100%. Esto lo que tiene que hacer es esto. Aquí. Y de aquí para arriba. ¿Por qué ahí? ¿Por qué ahí no te paras en la línea meme, Alejandro? ¿No? ¿Por qué te hace pensar eso? Sencillo. A Bitcoin le gusta romper las reglas. Las reglas son, estoy haciendo altos más altos por acá, ¿no? Y es más, ¿saben qué? En realidad aquí también hay una línea de tendencia en la diaria. ¿No? Lo pueden ver. O acá, no lo podría poner acá, porque ahí es donde básicamente se va a romper, se va a crear la ruptura. Lo pondría acá, que es más o menos por acá, ¿no? Esa línea meme. Aquí lo que yo estoy viendo es para que Bitcoin pueda subir una vez más a estos 99, que es lo que según yo va a hacer, debe de caer por debajo de este mínimo y tal vez hasta este. ¿Ok? Al llevarte estos mínimos, sobre todo este, que está en los 90, 89 altos, al llevártelo, todo el mundo que enseña análisis técnico diría, pues güey, ahí te sales, ¿no? Porque te sales en el último bajo más alto. Pero Bitcoin funciona al revés. ¿Qué fue lo que nos hizo entender que íbamos a tener este movimiento para arriba? Que esto consolidó para abajo, cabrón. Literalmente el movimiento de acá fue así. Y eso fue lo que me dijo, ok, vamos de acá 90,000 a los 98, a lo que hayamos ido, ¿no? Que este fue el gran long que nos aventamos. Y ahora estamos esperando para el retorno. Una vez más, cuando estoy volteando a ver la tabla, no solamente la tabla me habla, pero también lo que me habla es las noticias y la expectativa del mercado. El mercado no abre hoy, el mercado abre mañana. Todo el mundo está esperando que mañana el mercado abra en rojo. ¿Qué va a hacer esta gatada? Esta gatada ya te jugó que velo rápido, definitivamente este es el fondo, ¿no? Ya lo está jugando así, cuando todavía falta la mitad, una tercera parte del día para que se desarrolle esta vela. Entonces, cuando te está diciendo esto, y para mí va a haber corto acá en 93,800 si se llega a dar. 93,800 es donde pondría mi cortillo. ¿Por qué? Porque esto haría esto para ir para abajo y después esto. Es lo que yo esperaría. Una vez más, ¿por qué? Porque si todo el mundo está esperando que el mercado abra en rojo mañana, les va a dar la razón. Cuando Bitcoin, yo creo que hoy en la madrugada es cuando lo va a dar, o en la noche, Bitcoin vaya a hacer esto, todo el mundo va a decir, güey, el mercado y la bolsa va a abrir. En la mañana Bitcoin va a estar por acá en los 91, tal vez, ¿no? Por acá en los 91,200, 91, tal vez casi los 92. Y todo el mundo va a decir, ese es el corto, aquí nos vamos. Y aquí es donde ya va a despegar. Una vez que pasen algunas horas con la bolsa abierta, se van a dar cuenta que los extraterrestres no pueden hacer que el Banco de Inglaterra quiebre. Yo sé que suena mamada, pero eso es noticia que de verdad la gente está hablando de. Así que ahí lo tienen. Es lo que estamos esperando con Bitcoin. Vamos rápido al análisis del índice en putiza para podernos ir temprano, que acá es holiday en Gringolandia. Y pues sí, me quiero ir de huevón. Vale. ¿Qué es lo que hemos estado viendo en Bitcoin? Vamos a empezar con la trimestral, damas y caballeros, y pueden ver que hemos estado en una gran tendencia alcista con altos más altos, bajos más altos, pero por fin tenemos una vela que nos indica un poco de reversión. Esta no es un poco, es un chingo. Esta es una vela topera porque topa todo esto. Y además, bueno, es envolvente bajista porque topa, agarra todo esto. Esta puedes argumentar que fue tu vela topera y puedes argumentar que esta fue tu confirmación. Más allá de eso, cuando volteamos a ver también nuestros promedios en la trimestral, una vez que pierdes el promedio del 5, que es la línea verde que está acá, es mercado bajista. La última vez que lo perdiste fue literalmente en abril del 2022, con la vela trimestral de abril del 2022, lo que sería nuestra siguiente vela, por cierto. Aquí ya lo perdimos en octubre, pero estando por debajo es nuestro segundo cierre por debajo. Eso nunca en la historia no ha acabado en un mercado bajista. Y una vez que perdamos los $80,000 es donde se va a dar el movimiento brusco. Por ahora, en esta tendencia alcista empiezan a darte patrones de tope. También tienes divergencias bajistas en la trimestral. Tienes volatilidad hundiéndose a uno de los puntos más bajos en la tabla en toda la historia. Y volatilidad fue la que nos dijo los fondos en cada uno de los ciclos y los topes. Una vez que volatilidad contrajo por debajo del promedio en cada uno de ellos, hicimos un tope. Ya habíamos hecho el tope. Y es lo que se dio aquí una vez más cuando llegamos al de octubre 6. Ya tenemos este cierre y continúa la baja, lo que a mí me dice que eso ya fue el tope y no vas a ver altos históricos nuevos, pero lo que tiene que hacer es engañarte la tabla ahorita que tenga el rebote a que va a ir altos históricos nuevos, si no, nadie va a querer holdear con cojones su Bitcoin y en vez se van a intentar salir, así que piénsalo antes de que lleguemos a ese punto. Vamos a la mensual, no les voy a poner rangos en el HPDR con esto, vamos a hacerlos en temporalidades más cortas porque es irrelevante a mi punto de vista aquí. Por ahora, estamos tradeando rápido, ¿no? Tenemos lo mismo que habíamos visto en el ciclo del 2021, la famosa M de McDonald's. Esta M de McDonald's tiene el primer alto y el segundo más arriba. Adivina qué tenemos en la M de McDonald's de ahorita. M de McDonald's. Tienes tu primer alto y tu segundo alto aún más arriba. Es idéntica. Además de que está cerrando por debajo del promedio del 9, ya 1, 2 y este va a ser el tercer mes. Todavía faltan 12 días y 8 horas. Cualquier cierre por debajo de $97,000 te haría pensar que esto definitivamente va a los 76,000. Así que sería el siguiente nivel a jugar. Aquí lo peligroso es, si llegas a bajar y no te llevas este mínimo, acaba a jugar todavía más juegos pendejos, ¿ok? Porque lo que quiere hacer es que todo el mundo que entiende, bueno, que sabe análisis técnico básico, pero no aprende que cada cosa tiene un diferente lenguaje de cómo se mueve, ¿no? Con todas las viejas, no todas te dan la misma señal y significa lo mismo acá. Si esta chingadera aguanta este mínimo y no me llevo este mínimo para abajo, sería lo más bajista que, bueno, sería lo peor en cuanto a dolor en el mercado. ¿Por qué? Porque entonces eso quiere decir que vamos a caer, vamos a subir, para una vez más caer, para poder aguantar esto lo más posible y meter a la mayor cantidad de gente acá. Y esto que sería un hombro, cabeza, hombro. Y eso nos llevaría una vez más muy para abajo. De todas maneras, vamos a ir para abajo. Da igual, es fin de ciclo, son 4 años. Si eres de la gente que cree en el superciclo, me imagino que ahorita van a venir los extraterrestres también a tirar el mercado de Bitcoin, ¿no? Y sería una desgracia. Por ahora tenemos el setup de volatilidad más bajo en toda la historia. En la tabla mensual, lo que sugiere, tal cual como en la trimestral, que vamos al movimiento más fuerte en toda la historia de Bitcoin o los movimientos más fuertes de Bitcoin en toda la historia. Y eso tendría sentido con el ciclo de liquidez que viene, de hiperliquidez. Pero estamos muy lejos de ver esto continuar a la alza. Por ahora, también nuestra tabla mensual es bajista. Ya rompiste toda esta estructura de la parte alta, está rompiendo esta, aguantando esta como una perfecta trampa. Bitcoin no consolida para arriba. Recordemos una vez más, Bitcoin antes de subir, consolida para abajo. Y una vez que estás arriba, consolidas para arriba, ¿qué tienes? Caídas. Consolidada para arriba, ¿qué tienes? Caída, etcétera. La historia se repite una y otra vez y no tienen que cambiar nada, porque si creemos que el Banco de Inglaterra va a quebrar por los extraterrestres, pues felicidades a nosotros, nos lo merecemos y ya. La de 2 semanas también es bajista, puedes ver lo mismo tipo de estructura, pero a largo plazo los aranceles, que ya por cierto van a regresar los aranceles, continúan manteniendo esta trampa lista para toda la gente que quiere ser alcista sin entender cómo se mueve Bitcoin. Y pues va a continuar con lo suyo. Estamos por ahora, hemos tenido en la de 2 semanas 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 6 cierres por debajo del promedio del 34. Damas y caballeros, para esta nueva vela todavía falta bastante. Y ahora pueden ver que también cerramos la pasada justito abajo. Me gustaría que esta vela me hiciera un SFP. Este SFP me lo podría dar por acá y eso completaría la misión y después podría caer después de otras 3, 4 de estas velas. Por ahora, el extremo está en los 99, 100 con el promedio del 21 y la parte baja en los 96 con el promedio del 9. Estás justamente cayendo el promedio del 34, es bajista y tu volatilidad continúa tendiendo una trampa, todos pensando que esto ya se va a dar. Vamos a mantener los ojos bien pelados, pero por ahora tendencia bajista dentro de una alta tendencia bajista, pero todo de nuevo acaba siendo bajista. Semanal, estás a punto de tener un cruce plateado a la baja, lo que me hace pensar que esto debería venir al extremo para intentar jugar el ¿se va a dar o no se va a dar? ¿No? El extremo está en los 99, es el promedio del 34. Eso haría que el cruce plateado no se diera luego. Por eso estoy esperando a que tengamos este rebote. Además, zona de confluencia, el promedio del 5 está en los 91,420. Esa es una zona bastante interesante para quien sea que se quiera meter. Una vez más, cuando estás jugando semanales y tocas esas zonas, esas regiones, como un promedio semanal, tienes una gran probabilidad de tener potentes rebotes. Y acá estás por encima del promedio del 9, que está en los 93. Yo esperaría perder el promedio del 9. Esta vela todavía le falta una semana para cerrar. Yo esperaría que dé la finta que va a hacer esto, tal cual como lo ha estado haciendo. Venir para acá, encontrar su rebote y continuar a la alza. Es lo que yo estoy esperando. También la mensual, la semanal es bajista y además agrégale la fuerte consolidación que se está dando en esta dirección. Nada podría ser más bajista en mi punto de vista que eso. Una vez más, esto no es un movimiento, esto es una tabla semanal. Se puede dar el movimiento en un mes, en lo que sea. Esto todavía no es el movimiento para abajo. Primero tiene que hacer a la gente que todavía queda con idea que vamos a nuevo alto histórico, tiene que meter a toda esa gente. Y esas no los va a meter abajo de $100,000. Así que necesitamos estar arriba por $100,000. Voy a ir a la de 5 días que ha dictado exactamente cómo se mueve esto perfectamente y aquí ya les puedo poner el HPDR. Tienes un cruce plateado, lo hemos platicado 1000 veces, con un setup de volatilidad potente, ya debajo del 15% por mucho. Cruce plateado, cualquier oportunidad al 9 debería ser un shortazo, pero ahorita pueden ver que está retomando el promedio del 9, que es la línea azul, está subiendo por encima, bueno, fue al 21, rechazó. Lo que deberíamos de ver es ver a esto, tomar estos promedios, venir para acá y tener su rechazo eventualmente, ya sea en la zona de los 100, 103, 104 o más arriba. ¿Ok? Por ahora está demostrando fuerza, toda la gente ahorita se está subiendo en un long tarde y esto es lo que los va a llevar a la chingada, porque los que se están subiendo en el long tarde en este momento pensando que ya tocaste fondo, y esto lo he estado jugando todo el tiempo desde el principio, este movimiento de Bitcoin. Ahí es donde van a venir tarde. La última vez que vimos un cruce plateado en la tabla como este, a la baja, en la de 5 días, fue al fin del ciclo del 2021. Lo que vimos fue que llegamos a la parte alta de la zona azul, que está ahorita en $104,000 casi, y ahí rechazamos. Así que es más o menos, seguimos esperando eso, pero podría ser hasta el 50%, 110, por ejemplo. Lo que la gente menos espere es lo que se va a dar. Ahorita tenemos nuestra media justamente acá abajo en los 92 y por eso esperaría que nos dé un poco de un flashazo antes de ir para arriba. Estando en esta posición, es más alcista que bajista en esta temporalidad, pero todavía no acaba el movimiento. Tienes este alto, tienes que pensarlo así. Después de este mínimo, ¿no? Digamos, este mínimo, tienes este alto, tienes este bajo, ahora tienes este alto y me vas a decir que solamente vas a pintar ya hasta acá el bajo que sigue, ya se acabó. Yo no lo creo. Personalmente creo que va a bajar más, una vez más. Ahí es donde tengo mis entradas y es lo que estoy esperando, 93,800. Y antes de siempre subir Bitcoin, hace el bajón. ¿Me entiendes? Te tiene que sacar a huevo porque no está completamente manipulado. Recuerda, solo lo manipulan una vez al día. Porque cuando puedes manipular el precio de algo, ¿por qué hacerlo todo el día cuando lo puedes hacer solamente una vez al día, no? Qué gente. Lo que estoy esperando de todo esto es a Bitcoin, si llega a los 93,800, que es más o menos por acá, esta zona, ahí yo esperaría que haya un rechazo, ir para abajo y ya de ahí eventualmente ir para arriba. Una vez más, ¿por qué? Porque Bitcoin tiene que hacer un nuevo mínimo para espantar a todo el mundo que no se salió, para pensar que va más abajo. Es la idea. Por ahora también la diaria te pinta, ve, qué bonito rebote en el 34. Tu diaria del 34, tu promedio del 34 es más o menos donde está la media, y eso también está en mi canal en los 92,100, un nivel muy importante. Ahorita los aguantamos sabroso para hacer pendeja a la gente, pero en mi opinión podríamos venir hasta la parte baja de la zona azul. La parte baja de la zona azul está en los 89,200. Una vez más, para mí cualquier cierre por debajo de esto, de los 89, de 4 horas, 8 horas, etcétera, es lo que me va a sacar. Pero si no, yo quiero entrar más o menos por esta zona entre los 89 y 90. Se los puse ahorita el trade en la pantalla, así que vayan a checarlo antes. Es mi entrada para esperar por este long, romper este alto, continuar con esta tendencia jodida a la alza, a eventualmente llegar al extremo y rechazar. Ahora, puede que este sea el rechazo final y nos vayamos para abajo totalmente, pero hasta ahora todo sigue jugando, el baile del mercado sigue jugando en nuestro favor. Vamos a la de 12 horas. 12 horas nos pone el extremo en los 95,800 junto con la media y el promedio del 200. Estamos aquí abajo. Una caída aquí al 61,8% no sería nada sorprendente. Y eso sería suficiente para llevarte todos estos mínimos y continuar para arriba. La pregunta es, ¿este va a ser el único mínimo que te lleves o va a ser el de acá para hacerlo todavía más sucio? Y es lo que todavía no sabemos. Pero por ahora deberías de rebotar en los 91,700. Vamos a la de 8 horas, que para mí la de 8 horas me ha cantado muchísimos trades. Ya veniste al 61,8% y acá tienes el promedio del 55 una vez más, 93,400, 93,500. Hasta acá arriba, la parte baja de la zona azul está en 94,200. Aquí es donde yo esperaría. Si aquí nos vamos para arriba, más o menos acá entre 93,800 y 94,200 es donde yo esperaría hacer un corto para venir por fin a la zona de abajo y tomar esto. Porque el trade tiene que acabar mañana. Este movimiento tiene que acabar mañana, en mi opinión. A más tardar pasado mañana. ¿Por qué? Porque tienen, ahorita lo que están cargando es la ilusión de que el mercado va a abrir bajista mañana. Cuando vean todos que va a abrir alcista mañana y que estemos por acá, en la noche, pum, va a ser esto, todo el mundo va a decir, güey, ese fue un alto más bajo, fue un corto, ya nos vamos a ir a la mierda y ahí es donde vas a rebotar. Cuando el S&P 500 vaya a abrir en negativo, y ahorita ya te lo están pintando, ¿no? Lo puedes ver acá en futuros, estás abajo, el futuros del SP 500 está abajo casi un 1%, y es lo que te quieren vender en este momento. Así que simplemente con Bitcoin continuamos en nuestros rangos pendejos. No tiene mayor chiste esto. No hay nada nuevo. Simplemente esperando a nuestra zona de entrada. La invalidación, una vez más, en este long sería cerrar una vela de 4 a 8 horas, una por debajo de $89,000. Abajo de $89,000 estoy fuera. No quiero nada que ver con esto. Y ya, ahí lo tienen. All righty. Who's next? Mr. Alex. Let me see what you got there. Salamis. Excellent. Excellent selection.
Yeah, I'm looking at Sol. Really looking concerning, honestly, especially after the move we've had last week. If we go and actually go to the weekly here, you can see the Sol versus Bitcoin, the most important chart, is actually giving us a BBWP setup. Let me just turn that off. This is very important because, well, you've only had one BBWP setup with extreme low read here, and that was back in June, July. You can see here, this actually led to a bullish outcome. This is really what started that major move up. We can actually measure it from when it fired off, this point up, giving us about a 40% move. To me now, quite the opposite's happening here, where we potentially could have this fire off to the downside. You are still in bearish posturing. All that move did last week, essentially just put in a major lower high on the weekly. And you can see it quickly sold off, putting a massive weekly shooting star, essentially losing the weekly 9. The sell-off was so aggressive, you even lost the weekly EMA 5. And now here we are. To me, this is a very big concern if you're a Sol investor, because what this could mean is once you really start losing that 13545 level, essentially you could just see a massive dump towards 0.0010190. Or in simpler terms, a 25% pullback from this point, right? If we just measure so far how much we've gone down, let's just go from October, go from this high, right? About 36%. Losing that support here, this red line could open up another 26% move down. Would be devastating for a chart like Solana. You also notice here, the monthly is essentially in massive bearish posturing in a bear market, and you even have a massive monthly lower high here. All that's left is a lower low. That tells you that really these lows here that were formed in June, this one in April, aren't going to hold. It's not looking safe. The trend is your friend here on Sol. An easy monthly downtrend will give us that lower low eventually. You're even observing here monthly volatility, not at the lowest read, but just still contracting, moving down, even in the midst of, well, a bearish Solana. So over time, sometime this year into next year, this could give us a volatility setup on the monthly for the first time ever. It will eventually. But with this posturing, this is a major concern because all the monthly looks like it's doing whenever you reach that 15270 region, essentially, it's solidifying the resistance at that zone. And in this exact spot, you've seen major dumps like what occurred in 2022. This is a 48% red dildo leading to a 26% red dildo. When you throw the HBDR on, doesn't give you the most confidence as a bull, rather a bear. You can see here, you've just simply are staying under that monthly median, giving you a target all the way down to this next region. I have to really look at that as confluence of that new range that we talked about. You can see the bottom side 38.2% is sitting at 0.001654, where my support's at 0.001019. So very, close by to that region. Technically, this monthly still saying this is brewing a target and a major breakdown towards that region. With what I showed on the weekly, that's why you have to be very cautious of that weekly volatility setup firing off to the downside. Something about this monthly median as well is really once you get under it, you've seen pretty harsh rejections off the monthly median. We can just observe here, give it a clean view. Oh, right here, perfect. And then we can just see here, can see just a rejection visually, right? You got above it, now you're under it again. Not good. And then we can even measure these rejections down. So just this alone was a 25% rejection, pretty insane. This one, which was insane, was a 55% from the monthly median. Just to put it in perspective, that's just how big of a spot this is on Solana. You throw everything else on, you can really see, you are just on the cliffside edge on this chart. And the quarterly, that's what I was looking at before, just simply looks like it put in a massive bearish retest. Last time we lost this region here, you got a quick reclaim, expansion up, formed this channel. But this just looks like, lower highs on the quarterly with a breakdown, and all that move did was just solidify a bearish retest. And even if you don't like, let's say, meme lines, you just got that just per the EMA 21 here. You lost the EMA 21, and you even got that retest, essentially going pretty early into this quarterly candle. So not the best sign here on the higher timeframes for Sol versus Bitcoin. Doesn't mean we can't get a bounce, and we potentially can. Going back to the monthly, you do see you've not retested two levels, the monthly 9 and even this region at 15270. Very important to potentially get a retest here. We often say, there's no point buying, shorting the extremity low. This can just be as simple as, bearish retest, lower high before coming down. The daily even gives me an idea on that. Which ties into potentially our Academy long that I posted on Bitcoin. Seeing, more things on a bounce, right? When you're in a daily lower low, probably is not wise to be looking for more, probably not wise to be shorting this, but rather using the moving averages as an area of interest. See here, the 34 was well respected. You've lost it. You never tested it. This can make a pretty easy setup where if we get that retest, I'm looking at this region to short. Going back though to the weekly, we're just simply looking at that weekly 9 with potentially the meme line here is the extremity high for the short. And that gives you confluence to it, this weekly shooting star. Ideally the top is in major lower high, but still doesn't mean you can't get bounces in between. And to me, that still looks likely at this spot to maybe produce a lower high. You can see on the daily HPDR, you are breaking down. So very close to a breakdown. And even if we closed here, you still would be gauging some kind of move to the bottom side, 38.2%. Why today's close will be very important. If we stay back into this, blue zone, essentially, well, there's your bearish retest on the weekly, just per that meme line, sitting at that 1527 region. So, very important today to kind of watch how things develop. But no scenario here where I see really Sol BTC going up. In all honesty, to me, it looks like the weekly's just put in a massive lower high. You're now rejecting the weekly 21. The last spot, you had a major downside move. And really, you're under that monthly median, not the best perspective here. Really would not be much for bears to just start dumping this towards the next region. About a 25-30% move down. I thought Sol was going to go up. This doesn't really look that bullish. Actually looks quite heavy. You can even see the 6 month just potentially put in a massive lower high. It's a little tricky, right? High or low, maybe, but you're supposed to break this high. And so now the big question will be, okay, is this going to be a lower high? Are you going to break these lows? That still means that we can get very close to it. We saw last cycle, you got pretty close to the lows here, right? I'm sure when we were sitting up in this region, many thought, no way, we're going to come all the way back down to that 0.00050 level, but we did. And so we can absolutely come. Let's just measure this. This is 89%. Let's go from here. Then about a 53%, 89%. Oh yeah, you've already taken out that low. So the opium is that, yeah, you just come down maybe 69%, right? We don't know how big this setup will be. But what we do know is this is rejection. You've lost key support at that 6-month 9. And even more so now, you're flipping it into resistance. Last 6-month candle really turned into nothing. Actually signaling an evening start here. Really interesting when we've just been going down. So it tells me that this still could go down a lot more. Next area of support, just per the meme lines here, would be like this wick high. So let's just measure it from there. Yeah, about 18% still from here. So you really need to start seeing bulls pick up. Really an easy gauge for this chart, very easily, is just simply get back above, let's say get back above the monthly 21. That's when things can at least start looking better, and then maybe we'll have a shot at taking up this high. Until then, trend is your friend. Massive macro downtrend. Literally looks like it's in the midst of a breakdown. And really the monthly median is kind of guiding us on saying, once we lose this region here, you are going to get a major move down to the next zone. Now we can actually go to the Silver's Tether chart, and let's see if it looks any better. Because like we were saying last week, 2 weeks ago, many people were bullish on Solana. Let's just see why. So into the monthly, we do see you got a nice move. You even broke 140s. That was cool. But right, you just simply are still in that bearish posturing, where the monthly 21 was our friend holding us, expanded from it. Now you're potentially, and you are front running the rejection. It's interesting. You haven't even retested it yet after losing it massively in November, which tells you that anytime you move up to this 150, 148 level, you still need to be massively cautious. You're not out of the clear yet, really, until you break and clear 155, 156. That's when then you can become, pretty bullish on Solana, talking about 170s, 180s, possibly even all the way up to 200s. But until then, any kind of move up to here just looks like a massive Glock 3000 short opportunity. And now you even see you are in a monthly sell. So again, just playing onto the idea that Sol BTC's chart on the monthly looks very terrible. Now here on the monthly versus Tether, you are in a breakdown. So really will be very important to see where this closes. Let's see where, volatility not giving you a setup, but expansion off the lowest street ever. Still something to be watching carefully. Weird. Now, what I was saying on Sol BTC, which something I believe maybe on Bitcoin is brewing, right? A bounce. And so, right, daily uptrend got violated. And so now we don't short here looking for that. Rather, this is an altcoin. We should be looking for something like this or this for a lower high. And to me, that just will play into perhaps Bitcoin getting that bounce, and even Solana getting a nice bounce from here. This isn't a let's try to long Solana to get the bounce, but rather let's really watch and see, do we lose key support here? Really in this chop zone, we still were getting pretty good data with, once we lost 136, you often would make pretty big moves down to 120s, right? You can see here, lost at 136, couldn't even move up, went to 135, and then made an aggressive dump all the way to 121. 9% move down. You can see here, lost 136, went up 136, went up almost to that 141 before dumping 9%, almost 10%, hit the 123s. And then here, right? lost 136, almost went up to that 141. And then we'll measure it from 136, like what we've been doing. And then this was pretty impressive. It's giving you a 14% move, right? And so here, are we shorting? No, you're not shorting today. You're looking for, okay, does 136 get lost? We'll look for a setup. If we start moving up, 141 will be our next add. And we'll just simply look at this high to be our stop loss. And our target will just simply be 121. Lose 121, that's when the fun starts again, 100. And then you even get that, $85, $86 region again. You lose 85, 86, this thing's going to dump all the way to 57, 60s. So on Sol BTC, it looks absolutely terrible. Dailies still tell me, though, we can produce a lower high. So we're actually gauging a bounce on Bitcoin and Solana maybe to give us that. As long as you lose 136 on a daily, you're going to be very cautious of this entering into a sell trigger under the daily median, losing the 34. And so then it's going to start opening up a setup here where you can just start moving down towards the 120s. It's not really until you lose 121 where that's where the fun can begin. You can really make an aggressive move down. I think the HBDR monthly really puts it in perspective here. Look at this. You lose this 122, 50% region, fast move down to the 61.8%. That's sitting at $100. You lose that, you make another aggressive move down to $49. So the ranges are accurate. Solana can move down very fast. It can move up very fast. And that's why when you are in a monthly breakdown, you need to be very cautious of this just breaking down now. So again, not really looking for too much upside. All this move did really was test a daily EMA 100. And now that you're back within this range, it just needs to be well respected. I do think 136 to 141 can be a short with a stop loss around 145 if you end up losing that today. Now let's see if we see anything else. You do have a daily volatility setup. And well, no silver cross to the downside yet. Now let's go to lower time frames. Because where the 4-hour EMA 100 is holding on Bitcoin, you're actually losing it on Sol. But still, kind of just tells me can easily move up, test even the 4-hour 9 in confluence of, well, probably not ideally a short zone here, but rather where I've circled is just simply that 4-hour silver cross. So you have the cross and you haven't tested it, and that is coming at 136. So, not bad. I still think today, no positioning. Wait for tonight. Watch the 4-hour EMA 100 on Bitcoin. But really, a lot of things on Solana are looking pretty bad. Very bad. So I'd be very cautious of Sol. If you're even investing in it, I really wouldn't even want to invest in Solana. Not until like 60s, honestly. And even that could be questionable because, well, let's just observe the last bear market. So let's see where we're at now. We're here. Interesting. Right? And so look how just fast things can change. Once you start really losing 121, you just started to move down only. An alt can really do something just like this, where it's just down for weeks and months, little consolidation, massive rejection off the weekly 21 before the next leg down, and then you just do nothing. I'm not really looking to be investing in this. There's no point. So when Solana is literally looking like here, we do have to be very cautious of this just fully breaking down and moving towards the $100 region, especially if we do think Bitcoin is in a bear market. So just be very cautious of Solana. And this is a good indication of, well, how the market looks. Looked very promising 2 weeks ago, a week ago, if bulls held the momentum. But as it's, fading in the monthlies, incoming with the close, this is still really looking concerning. And the monthly is really for the first time ever in a sell trigger here. So just be fully aware. Sol versus Bitcoin looks terrible. And even Sol Tether pairing is in a HPDR sell. It is even funny here. Look at the monthly. The range is at 133, 123, very close to our 121, 136. Just kind of just shows here. We're just in a tight range until one of these actually breaks. But more points, the Bears breaking 121. So be fully aware of that. And for the Academy, I'll be looking for a short to fire off on that daily. Something like this. Could be like that or like this. Either way, the trend will be our friend here with this new lower low confirmed. So that's all I have on Sol. Terrible chart.
Motherfucking salami, son. I mean, yeah, it's holding right here. Same bullshit as always, playing this stupid ass game, giving you this so that everything can be invalidated just with a fucking gigantic move down. Excellent. Excellent. Right?
Yeah,
Thank God the market's not manipulated. Oof, imagine if it was.
That would suck.
Yeah.
It's exceptionally fun when 2 weeks of Bitcoin price action is taken out by one 5-minute candle.
It's fucking impressive as fuck.
Hey, that's some nice effort you guys put in there. Unfortunately, I just hit the sell button.
Alrighty, let's do this and we'll finish with ETH.
ETH.
Ok. Estamos viendo Solamis, damas y caballeros. Voy a poner la tabla semanal. Yo creo que pueden ver más o menos por dónde va la cosa, ¿no? Con esto, alto, la que sigue es un bajo. La pregunta es dónde va a darte el bajo, para después darte el siguiente alto, para después continuar para abajo. Tenemos un cruce plateado en la semanal para abajo. El promedio del 9 normalmente es una buena oportunidad de promediar, pero si entendemos que aquí puedes creer dos cosas. Puedes creer que ya vimos el tope, ¿no? Acá arriba, que ya lo vimos. Y ahora la siguiente es que este es tu tope para después continuar cayendo. Esa sería tu primera manera de verlo. Ha estado bajo el promedio del 100 por 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 semanas. La última vez que estuviste bajo el promedio del 100 fue por 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ahora ya son 11, por debajo del promedio del 100. En el último ciclo, la última vez que estuviste por debajo del promedio del 100, ni siquiera estaba, por supuesto, pero vienes de ahí y eso me imagino que fue lo que marcó el principio del fin. Lo que tenemos que esperar es, ¿vamos a volver a subir o no? Ya nos vamos a ir para abajo. Es lo que vamos a analizar rápidamente en la tabla de Solamis, damas y caballeros, para que lo tengamos presente. Un punto muy importante para la tabla de Solamis, si lo pueden ver en la trimestral, es los $124. $124, que es donde tengo mi línea meme. Por acá puedes entender lo importante que es, porque una vez que cierras por debajo de los 124, mercado bajista. Una vez que lo tomas, máximos históricos. $124 es esencial en cierres grandes para Solana. El día que yo lo vea abajo de los 124 es donde me preocupo. Y también habíamos dicho que los 124 era donde íbamos a encontrar un rebote y lo tenemos ya. En la tabla además tienes la volatilidad en el punto más bajo de la tabla de Solami en toda la historia. Y eso te dice que viene un movimiento bastante potente y fuerte. Ahora, esto es un hombro, cabeza, hombro, pero en una tabla trimestral imposible. En la mensual se ve perfectamente esta chingadera. Lo puedes ver acá. Hombro, cabeza, hombro. Y ahora esto sería un objetivo negativo, pero siempre y cuando estemos aguantando por acá, deberíamos de poder correr un poco más para arriba. Voy a quitar esta línea acá en los 202. Fácil de acordarme de. Por ahora estamos cerrando por debajo del 34 mensual. El promedio de 34 mensual, la última vez que lo cerramos fue nunca. Y eso quiere decir que 1, 2, y este sería el tercer cierre, esperarías un potente rechazo por aquí de los 130 hasta los 150 siendo el extremo, con los 160 siendo el mega extremo del movimiento. Por ahora, ¿qué es lo que tienes? Y quiero que lo piensen así. Tengo un Y es más, se los voy a poner con la madre esta para que lo puedan ver perfectamente. Exacto. Tengo un alto, bajo, un alto más alto, un bajo más bajo, y ahora ¿qué toca? Un alto. ¿Me entiendes? No importa que bajes más. O sea, lo único que no te puedes llevar para cementarlo serían los 117. Si siempre y cuando estés por encima de 117, va a ser un alto más bajo. Y la pregunta es, ¿dónde? Para mí, esta va a ser la zona. 156 con un extremo en los 170. Y ahora ya me estoy yendo a extremos, pero es lo que personalmente creo. Además de que en la mensual en Solamis nos está preparando un movimiento acá ¿cómo se dice? Espérame. Ninguna de estas cosas funcionó. Excelente. No es una línea vertical eso. Ahí está. Ahí está mi línea vertical, tío. Ok. Ahora, en esta línea vertical podemos ver que esta expansión de volatilidad se podría estar dando con esta vela verde. Aquí vamos a tener bastante cuidado y poner atención. Está el precio en 134 y la volatilidad está en 36. Mantén un ojo en esto. Te va a ayudar bastante. Vamos a la de 2 semanas. 2 semanas podemos ver un poco de lo mismo. Volatilidad expandiendo no nos dice nada, así que la voy a quitar de acá y voy a ir a esto. Con este alto tienes este bajo, ahora tienes este alto y vas a buscar un bajo. En esta de 2 semanas es donde va a declararse esto y esto es donde vamos a encontrar un bajo. Para mí el bajo debería estar por acá en mi línea de 124 más o menos. Entre 132, que es la entre los 128, 127 y los 124. Es donde yo pensaría que este máximo encuentra mínimo para después hacer un máximo y luego un mínimo. Es lo que yo esperaría de esto. Una cosa importantísima cuando estás haciendo análisis técnico es entender dónde es un alto y dónde es un bajo, porque eso te dice cuál es la posibilidad de esta tendencia. Tú crees que ya, y ahora puede ser, pero ve esta tabla. Bajo, alto, bajo, alto, bajo, alto, bajo, alto, bajo, alto. ¿Ok? Aquí, en los 48. ¿Qué va a pasar primero? ¿Vas a romper los 150, 148 a la alza? ¿O va a ser un mínimo, el bajo lo vas a acabar de formar? Ya se acabó de formar el bajo. Este bajo no se acaba de formar, en mi opinión. Esto es lo que tienes que analizar todo el tiempo cuando estás viendo una tabla, tío. Esto es lo que te va a dar todos los movimientos más fáciles de todo. Ahí va Bitcoin a esos 93,800, 94,200 a rechazar. Ahí voy a estar en corto. Y por ahora esto también continúa. Para mí, acá no hay un movimiento que esté enfrente de mi cara, ¿no? Lo voy a poner en la semanal y aquí ya puedo poner el HPDR. Voy a quitar esto. Bajo, alto, bajo, alto. Tienes que acabar el bajo, tío. Vas a acabar el bajo. ¿Dónde? Una vez más, ya se los puse. Vamos a ver si tiene algo de confluencia con mi HPDR y voy a quitar esto. El peor escenario serían 113. Sería que nos va a dar un súper pompazo a la alza, si viene a los 113. El extremo debería estar en los 120, a los 103, entre 118 y 113. Y yo personalmente no creo que vayamos a ver debajo de esto. Ahorita, antes del movimiento a la alza. La parte alta de la zona azul está en 161, agregando un poco de confluencia en mis extremos, con un extremo en el 50% de 178. Ahí es donde yo esperaría que pare. Ahora, si este movimiento sea fuerte con Bitcoin, Bitcoin va a 114, definitivamente 192 sería posible. Pero por ahorita tiene su cruce plateada a la baja, está rechazándote el promedio del 9. Recuerda, tiene que hacerme pensar que este fue el tope. Para hacerme pensar que esto fue el tope, ¿qué es lo que tiene que pasar? Esto tiene que caer. Ahora tienes tu alto, tienes tu bajo, tienes un alto más alto para poder engañar a todo el mundo que va a continuar, y eso es lo que yo estoy viendo acá. Esto se saldría de control cualquier cierre por debajo de 118. Es más, no es cierto. Cualquier cierre debajo de 124 me haría salirme de mi long en Solana. ¿Ok? Una vez más, ¿dónde voy a entrar? Entre los 128 y los 124. Es donde voy a buscar dónde va a encontrar este bajo para continuar. ¿Puede bajar más y puede bajar a los 121 en putiza? Sí. Porque recuerda, si va a ser la misma gatada que Bitcoin, esto debería de llevarse mínimo este mínimo. Y eso ya te pone en el promedio del 200, en los 118, y eso sería ideal. ¿Lo tiene que hacer? No. Pero es lo que le gusta hacer esta gatada, ¿no? 5 días, tienes ya el promedio del 5 el cruce platea a la baja. Tuviste un cierre por arriba del promedio del 200, pero ahora vas para abajo una vez más. Y aquí en la media se encuentra en los 129, que está justo acá donde estoy esperando este movimiento para abajo. Puede perforar la media tranquilamente y reventar los 124 y después rebotar fuerte, ¿eh? Pero ahorita esto es más bajista que alcista. Ha puesto este mínimo de acá en los 116. No lo contaría yo como el extremo, pero no me volaría la cabeza si llega a 112 Solamis y de ahí rebota con fuerza. Siempre y cuando no tenga cierres debajo de los 124, me siento bien. Me siento bien, damas y caballeros. Diaria. Diaria, está preparando un setup de volatilidad. Atentos, está empujando para arriba, empezando por arriba del promedio ante esta bajada. Pongan muchísima atención acá. De poder darse 131, después 128 y el extremo sería en 125, que es puta madre, sería perfecto. Y la parte alta, los 148. Ok, con esto puesto, déjenme rápido, veo la de 12 horas, la de 8 horas y la de 4. Ok, 8 horas tiene un cero bajista, la de 12 horas, perdón, en volatilidad. La de 8 horas también te ayudó a empujar a la baja. Y ahora que está dando la vuelta, está corrigiendo. Esta corrección me parece que va a ser la de corto. Una vez más, esto va a ocurrir entre hoy y mañana. Es lo que yo estoy viendo. Y la última, la de 4 horas, ya llegaste a extremos en esto y ahora, por ende, tienes que venir aquí arriba para poder rechazar y continuar para abajo. Y es lo que estoy viendo con... no tienes que venir hasta acá arriba, ¿eh? Puedes simplemente rechazar en los 136 y eso cuenta. Aquí lo tienen. La diaria es la que te va a dar la pauta en Solana y Solana te va a dar la pauta en todo, porque Solana va, en mi opinión, adelantado de todo lo demás. Yo es la que estoy viendo y volteo a ver a Bitcoin dependiendo de dónde esté. Puedes ver que Solana está en 134 y Bitcoin en 93. Solana está menospreciada, menosvaluada ahorita. Tiene que regresar más o menos a los 137 en este precio de Bitcoin. Es lo que he encontrado yo como de relación. Por ahora esperamos a ver cómo se va a dar el setup diario. Me gustaría ver esto bajar aún más porque es lo que espantaría a todo el mundo para mañana. Y pues, si mañana me despierto a las 4 de la mañana y Bitcoin está en $90,000, voy a ir long. Si mañana me despierto a las 4 de la mañana y Bitcoin está en $96,000, corto. ¿Me entienden? Ese tipo de escenarios es el que se va a dar. Entonces, por ahora, Solana nos va a dar una excelente entrada para largo en 124, 128 más o menos. Es lo que tiene cara y puede dar un extremo, un bajón extremo fuerte si llega a volatilidad en la diaria. A dar este movimiento, el último que dio fue este movimiento de 126 a 143. Si te llega a dar este tipo de movimiento de 144, te debería llevar a 114 más o menos, 120. Así que atentos a la volatilidad de Solana. Tiene cara que primero está corrigiendo a la alza para después ir a buscar el bajo, para después ir a la alza. Tal cual como el long de Bitcoin, si lo quieren ver así. Cortos para Solana sí existen. Cualquier cosa por arriba de los 100, en los 140 es corto ahorita. Si llega a ser un mínimo primero, te esperas porque eso ya es el long. Pero si ahorita se va tal cual aquí arriba, ahí es donde yo haría corto, como en Bitcoin, pensando en los 93, 800 por acá y también la media en los 94,500 es donde estaría ahí mi corto en Bitcoin antes de irme para allá. Alrighty, señor, we're ready for some ETH.
Alright, time to look at the most disappointing piece of shit to ever have existed. Aside from me, to my parents. Alright, we'll start with, I believe we have enough data on ETH for quarterly. ETH USD. I believe ETH also predates Tether. check out the 6 month. Okay, so the quarterly we did get that closed below the 38.2%. Did we actually? No, ever so slightly did hold on to that 38.2%. Interesting. And but we did open the new quarterly below it, and as of now we are getting a rejection of that 38.2%, which currently sits at about $3,300. If you look at momentum, it is currently pointing to the downside with volatility contracting, and you are getting a little bit of a bounce at the edge of the bearish control zone. As long as it is below the moving average, though, not really much has changed, and it is still positioned to the downside. Let's see what this closing price is, 36.45, and this one is over 4,000. So there is bearish divergence between these 2 points, and this is still possible, but hasn't confirmed just yet. It will confirm with a close below $2,621. $2,621, and then that'll give you a first target down to this 21, around like 2,300 for a little bit of a bounce, and then eventually you're going to find yourself around the 78.6, sitting somewhere about $1,600 to $1,700. Very interesting to see that Ethereum has not confirmed the same bearish divergence on the quarterly that Bitcoin has. Okay. Lower low. What is this low here? This is 1,821. This one did go lower, and this close is 2,966. That is a significantly higher low. So there is possibility of hidden bullish divergence here, also along with that bearish divergence. The same hidden bullish divergence is also currently still available on Bitcoin. But on Bitcoin, it's only on the monthly, whereas Ethereum has a possible hidden bullish divergence on the quarterly and hasn't confirmed the bearish divergence on the quarterly that Bitcoin has. To confirm this hidden bullish divergence, you have to close over about $4,758. So about $4,780. That's basically our all-time highs, only like $200 away from our all-time highs. But it does give you a target at the median once you do confirm that. And as of now, the median is sitting at $7,500, $7,469 to be exact. Nice number. And that also goes along with getting a close over the 38.2%, which would also give you a move towards the median. We have yet to get those things confirmed just yet, though. On the monthly, you're also getting momentum flipped down with volatility approaching 0%. Monthly, no divergence forming because we did make a higher high. Very interesting. Ethereum doesn't have the bearish divergences that Bitcoin does. And on the so far on the monthly, you are getting a rejection of the median. The median sitting right around 3,300, about $3,315-ish. As long as you are rejecting the median, you are more likely to come down to this bottom 38.2%, sitting somewhere around $2,400. Getting a close over the median takes you to slightly new all-time highs, just over $5,000 at the 38.2%. And another bearish point is that the monthly jewel is currently losing the buy signal, and the curvature is pretty heavily to the downside. This does look like this is going to flip into a sell signal on this next monthly open. Invalidation is closing over the median. 2-week also has a breakdown below 38.2%, with momentum now flipping back up, volatility going into a contraction phase. That would target once you can get a close back over the 9. That target slightly higher to the 38.2%, sitting somewhere around $3,700. The 9 as of now is resistance at about 3,300. Weekly is currently flipped up right at the reset zone with volatility approaching 0%, almost at 0%. And the weekly did close over the median, several closes over the median. So as of now, as long as you are still closing over the median, you would have a target upwards tapping somewhere around 3,500 to 3,800. And you are, I believe, you are now putting in possible hidden bearish divergence on the weekly as well, because you have taken out the momentum when price was trading over $4,000. And you've taken out the high when price was trading at $4,600. Wow, that's not good. And price is like $1,400 below that area, which is close to 50% below that area, because 50% is about 1,600. That divergence will confirm with a close below 3,048, and that'll give you an easy target down to about 24 for a little bit of a bounce, then likely somewhere around $1,700 to $1,800. As of now, you still have a buy signal on the weekly jewel, though, in the bearish control zone. 5-day, same look as the weekly. Momentum is flipped up, but volatility is, I believe, now going into an expansion phase. Ever so slightly going into expansion, very close to getting back over 15% with momentum flipped up. And you currently also have multiple tries of hidden bearish divergence possible, because you are making higher highs on momentum with lower high on price, and that will confirm with any close below same number, 3,048. But if you do go higher, it will become easier to confirm. Two-day currently freshly flipped down with volatility contracting. Two-day jewels losing the buy signal, flipping into neutral. Although the curvature is not very heavily to the downside. Let's zoom in a little bit. Still really positioned upwards. Zoom in. You've opened below the median, so as of now, if you do close below the 9, you would be targeting somewhere around like 3,000 flat. Stay over the 9, then you're likely going to get another attempt at that 3,300 resistance, and at that point, it'll be more possible to break out to 37 to 3,800. Daily flipping down on momentum, rejecting the critical zone with volatility contracting. Daily jewels also losing the buy signal, and you're getting a nice rejection of the 50%, and you're breaking your way back into the 38.2%. The daily is now giving you a fresh silver across the upside. Very interesting. Bitcoin has not done that just yet, whereas Ethereum has. And you've gotten to move all the way down to the cross itself. And ideally, as of this moment, you want to see a bounce back into over the 9. But if you do close like this, you're likely getting another retest of the cross. And if that cross does hold at that point, you should see another move back up to attempting the $3,300 zone. The most bullish scenario, which I don't think will happen, is within this next 6 hours, you turn this candle green and close back over the 38.2%. And then you're likely just going to bust up from there to 3,500. But very unlikely that happens. More likely you're going to get another at least retest of this cross. 4 hour also flipped down, pretty close to flipping back up, however, with volatility still expanding, and you're still holding at this 4 hour 100 EMA. Want to see a close back over the 4 hour 5 sitting around 32.30, and then you can see a move slightly higher to retest somewhere around 32.8 to 3,300. 2 hours already flipped back up with volatility approaching at extreme lows. 2 hour jewels about to flip into a buy signal, and you're getting over the median. Let me zoom in. Fuck, go away. You've already closed over the median, so this would be a second close over the median. As of now, you do have a silver cross at the downside in the 4 hours, so you are approaching the 9, which will be resistance around 30 to 32.30, 33, 32.30 to 30, 32.40. And if you can get a close back over the 9, then that gives you the possibility of getting that breakout with the close of the 38.2%. Closing a 4 hour over about 32.44 should take you back up to somewhere around 3,300. Let's go to ETH BTC. Quarterly is currently flipped up on ETH BTC with volatility contracting and the quarterly jewels losing the sell signal. As of now, the significant shift in structure that we did have is that we closed the quarterly over the 5 EMA, and our last quarterly was a move down, but we did hold over that 5 EMA, and now we're still above that 5 EMA, which has previously been significant resistance ever since about April of 2024. So we've now flipped what was resistance into support. Should be getting looking for a move slightly higher from there into somewhere around the 9 to the 9 EMA to the 38.2%, and the 9 is going to be resistance because we have a cross below the 9 to the 21, and that would be how much higher than where we are now. Let's measure about 9 to 10% higher than where we are now. That would correlate to somewhere around, I'd say, 10 to 15% up on Bitcoin. I mean, not Bitcoin, Ethereum USD. Monthly also already did close over the 38.2%. You came back down, still haven't retested the 38.2%, but you're still holding over the 9 EMA and putting in kind of a bottom candle here. Just need to confirm a local bottom beginning close over 00368, and then you can get back, get another try at this 78.6%, somewhere around mini zeros or 005. That is significantly higher than where we are now. Lose this wick low of 0032, and then you're like, you're going to retest this 38.2% at that point. 2-week currently flipped up with volatility approaching 0%. 2-week jewels losing the sell signal, flipping into a neutral, and you have closed over the median. So with the close over the median, you do have probabilities of coming to this top 38.2% around 0.4. Weekly is currently freshly flipping to the downside. You do have many closures over the median, but with momentum flipping down, it is making it a little likely you're going to come back down and retest the median. But you do have or the EMA is very close to silver crossing. They're basically touching us at this moment. The 21 is a ball sack here below the 55. So one more close, this is going to cross, and associating with that cross, you likely do get a nice little pump ski, likely tagging this 38.2% around 0.36. 5 days currently freshly flipping back up with volatility going into an expansion phase. 5-day jewel still playing out the buy signal. As of now, you're getting a rejection of your 100 EMA, so that would bring you that move slightly lower to that weekly 9 EMA, and that would should get your bounce from there, so considering you have reclaimed at 9 now. Two-day also freshly flipping down with volatility approaching 0%. Two-day jewel is flashing a fresh buy signal, and you are at the median as of now with a fresh silver cross to the upside now too, and you're getting a bounce off the 9. Daily now starting to break its way back into that 38.2%. But momentum is still technically slightly to the upside, although it's very close to flipping down. Volatility is very close to going into a contraction phase, and if you close below this 38.2%, we're likely going to come down lower towards the median. 4-hour flip to the downside, very close to entering into the bearish control zone with volatility going into an expansion phase, and the 4 hours very close to playing out a sell signal with the pink below the yellow. And you've lost 38.2%. So if you do see a move up, likely retesting this 3-4 area, likely going to be resistance, and that's where you get your dump to the 200. Let's check RSI. That's very interesting. Bitcoin has quarterly bearish divergence, whereas ETH has quarterly hidden bullish divergence. Wow. And this will be active as long as you're closing over $1,821. You've hit the easy target, which is the simple moving average. So the next target is going to be the edge of the bullish control zone. That level currently sits at 39.35. What do you know? Why does ETH look better? Monthly does have active bearish divergence, however, multiple drives, and this will be active as long as you're closing below this high here, which is at 4,391. Yikes. You've hit the easy target of the bearish divergence, which is the neutral zone. Next level is the bearish control zone, and that level currently sits at 2,037. Nothing there. Weekly currently has active bullish, hidden bullish divergence. This will be active as long as you're closing over 2,948, and your next target is going to be the edge of the bearish control zone, sitting at 3,400. Lines up with that 33 to 3,400 area. Neutral zone lines up with the previous number around 39. Three days about to put in a fresh drive of bearish divergence. This will confirm with any close below 32.51, and that will give you a target towards the bearish control zone, which is at 27.60. Nothing there. Nothing. 4 hours put in a local bottom. That would give you a target towards the edge of the bearish control zone, which currently sits at 32.30. Nothing really. Let's go into momentum. Quarterly is still, wow, still flipped up. Quarterly is still good, flipped up, and it's going to remain flipped up as long as you're closing over 32.60. And you're now approaching the edge of the bullish control zone, getting a rejection of getting into the bearish control zone. 6 months still flipped up as long as you're closing over 22.50. Is this ETH's time to shine? Monthly, however, is flipped down, rejecting the bullish control zone, and it's going to be flipped down as long as you're closing below 4,400. 2 week is also flipped down with a derp of death and very close to expansion and volatility, and it's going to be flipped down as long as you're closing below 34.50. Weekly is currently flipped up with volatility contracting, and it's going to remain flipped up as long as you're closing over 29.30. 5 days also flipped up with volatility at extremes.
Does the quarterly bullish divergence have a target? That's so interesting when you said that.
Yeah, it was 3,900.
Quite the opposite of Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's very weird, very interesting to see. Bitcoin has bearish divergence and Ethereum has hidden bullish divergence.
Yeah, didn't you say that on the quarterly?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Very interesting. Didn't know
Although
that.
the monthly does have bearish divergence like Bitcoin, conflicting a little bit.
I see. Yeah.
But on the momentum on the quarterly never flipped down, whereas Bitcoin flipped down 2 closes ago
On the monthly?
on the quarterly.
On the quarterly. Oh. Alt season. Super cycle. Oh.
Well, but
It's
it's doing the same with Salamis, right? Where it kind of looks like it's making lower highs, no, higher lows on the relation between Sol and Bitcoin. It kind of seems like Bitcoin will come down or Bitcoin will stay stagnant. Solami and like altcoins will have some kind of a pop, which is, remember I was saying, I feel like Solamis could get to like 170, 200 maybe. And I think that'll make a lot of people go like, oh my God, Bitcoin is lacking. Alt season's coming. That would be the perfect fucking trap for it.
And retail
and
loves
then
alts. They love them.
Yes.
Make
Yes.
a
They're
few of them
looking for it.
green, and retail will sing and dance for all coins.
Yes.
give
I
that
think
nice tap of that 170, 38.2%, and then run into $80 from there. That'd be quite fun, quite swell.
Oh yeah.
On the 5-day, we still have momentum flipped up, and it's going to remain flipped up with volatility extremes as long as you're closing over about $2,800, and you're breaking out of the bearish control zone currently. 2-day is currently flipped down firstly with volatility contracting, and it's going to remain flipped down as long as you're closing below about 3,200, which you're about to flip back up. And your daily is currently freshly flipped down. Daily is putting in bearish divergence, and you're going to remain flipped down as long as you're closing below 33.66, 33.70. 4 hours also flip down and close to flipping up with the derp of death, and you will remain flipped down as long as you're closing below 32.56. A little bit lower. And now the 2 hour already confirms momentum already being flipped back up, and the 2 hour is going to remain flipped up as long as you're closing over 32.04 with the 2 hour silver cross to the downside. Let's go back to the 4. All right. And then do silver cross. All right, so on the high time frames, Ethereum is looking a lot better than Bitcoin is. Not really looking anywhere near as bearish as Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is putting the bearish divergence on the quarterly. Momentum is flipped down, has a bearish engulfing below, and looks quite toppy. Whereas Ethereum hasn't done any of that. It doesn't have the bearish engulfing, doesn't have the momentum flipped down. It actually is freshly flipped up, and it's still holding on to the all of your major areas, holding on to that quarterly 9 EMA. Whereas daily is now giving you a fresh silver cross, whereas Bitcoin's not even done that just yet. It's close to giving a daily silver cross, but it hasn't done it. And Bitcoin's momentum is flipped down on the quarterly, whereas Ethereum is still flipped up, projecting getting into the bearish control zone, whereas Bitcoin is in the bearish control zone on the quarterly. On the low time frames, you do have momentum flipping down, but the very low ones are flipping back up. Like the 2 hours already flipped back up, makes it more likely the 4 hour will flip back up, bleeds into the daily. But right now, you do have resistance sitting somewhere around 3,300. 3280 to 3300, and if you can get a daily close over that 33 area, then that takes you up to somewhere around 35 to 3550, and then your next level above there is your bullish control zone target on the quarterly of around 3900. Although I don't really see it getting that high, I'm looking at it more like what on Bitcoin, we're just looking for a little bit of a bearish retest into somewhere around that 3300 zone, and then as long as Bitcoin rejects in that low 100,000, fails to take out 1075, it is more likely that this is going to put a top around somewhere around 33 to 3400, and then you should see somewhere around 1800 next after there, which is the 78.6% on the HPDR. And the invalidation is going to simply be getting a weekly close back over about 3500. If you can do that, then likely going to come back retesting somewhere in the 4000s, maybe mid 4000s. Although I don't really see that happening. I more so see a rejection around 33 to 34, and then a move down to 2000, a little bit of a bounce, and then first 3000 for a little bit of a bounce, and then into the twos for a bounce at that psychological 2000 figure, and then somewhere around 17 to 1800 bucks.
All right. Well, you boys are motherfucking done. That was excellent, Mr. Farjano and Mr. Alejandro. Is there anything you guys like to say before you go about Bitcoin, something to look out for? And I know you'll be taking care of the alerts.
Nothing on my part. Just if we keep holding that 4-hour EMI 100, you're gonna have more of a bias of going up, possibly going to the daily EMI 100. Right in that 96K region. So just if you hold the 4-hour EMI 100, you could go up to 96K. But as soon as you lose it, that's going to be my indication we are going to break down further. So as we just kind of keep bouncing from this point, it's a very important spot to really watch carefully if you're trading.
Yeah. Mr. Farjano, you good?
For me, just that $95,000 area. We want to continue seeing closures over $95,000, and then you should see that move into that 102, somewhere a range between 99 and 102,000 to maybe 103 area. And ideally, you want to get if you can enter short as close to 103 as possible. Then you would have your stop at that previous major lower high of around 107.5, and you'd be targeting that 200 SMA, which as of now is at 71.1.
Very nice. Well, perfecto. I'm on it. You boys, you can take your MLK Day a little earlier, so enjoy it. I know in Mexico they're celebrating it.
Yes. Yes.
Well, enjoy.
I will be kneeling in solidarity.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
20-minute nail.
Have a good one, dude.
Buenas tardes and hasta luego, muchachos.
Enjoy. Hasta luego. Vale, quedamos con Ethereum, damas y caballeros. Para empezar, Ethereum y Bitcoin se ven muy polarizantemente diferentes. Uno es Bitcoin está, ¿cómo se dice? Tiene divergencias bajistas en la trimestral, todo se ve más bajo, donde Ethereum no. Pero yo pienso que Ethereum y Solana están jugando el mismo juego, donde están haciendo esta estructura que parece ser alcista, ¿no? Este es Ethereum contra Bitcoin, esto es Solana contra Bitcoin, lo pueden ver. Y en lo que están haciendo bajos más altos, etcétera, Bitcoin simplemente está cayendo en su dominancia. Ahora, ¿qué es lo que estoy esperando yo? Y es lo que les había dicho justamente. Estoy esperando ver Solana, si esto se llega a dar como pienso, y fuéramos a ir, ¿cómo se dice? Y fuéramos a ir, por ejemplo, en donde Bitcoin, te lo pongo, ¿no? Que viene a 111, más o menos, a este punto. Si Bitcoin va a venir a este punto para hacerle el corto a los 111, yo pienso que Solana va a estar por acá más o menos entre los 170 y los 200. Y yo creo que Ethereum va a estar, para ponerlo enfrente de todos ustedes, entre los 3,500 y los 4,000. ¿Por qué? Porque todo el mundo, piensa en esto. ¿Cuánta gente que conoces en este momento le quiere hacer un corto a Bitcoin en el tope, ¿no? En los $100,000. Ahorita lo acaba de decir Farhan 1000 veces. O Alex. ¿Cuánta gente le va a hacer un corto a Bitcoin en los 103, 99, 100,000, $104,000? Todos. ¿Qué quiere decir eso? Que eso nos debería hacer correr en un squeeze. Por eso yo digo que los 111 son el lugar perfecto, porque los 111 reflejaría ese tipo de movimiento, eliminar a todo el mundo que se está intentando pasar de verga, ¿no? De, a huevo, güey, ya llegamos a los 100, es donde va a rechazar. Y obviamente al principio puede que te dé esa idea, ¿eh? Si Bitcoin llega a los 100 y te da el rechazo instantáneo, es que, tío, va a subir mucho más. Simplemente está toreando a todo el mundo a que le haga corto. Y en lo que hace eso y vemos los 111, yo sí creo que vamos a ver los altcoins aquí arriba. ¿Por qué? Es la trampa perfecta. Es la trampa, pero tendida a la perfección si yo fuera el cabrón que maneja el mercado, que les haría a todos. ¿Por qué? Porque todo el mundo está súper clavado con el mercado bajista y quieren ganarle al mercado bajista. ¿Van a poder? No lo creo. Pero mínimo también lo que hacen la gente que mueve los mercados, le interesa simplemente que la gente caiga en narrativas sencillas. La narrativa más sencilla es de, güey, los alts van a tener alt season, Bitcoin se está yendo a la verga, ve la dominancia de Bitcoin cayendo, en lo que estás viendo a las altcoins cayendo, este canal alcista, en lo que estás viendo a las altcoins hacer todo esto y la verga. Entonces, imagínate Solana por acá en los 170, 200, Ethereum acá en los 3,500, 4,000, y Bitcoin en los 111. ¿No vas a pensar que Bitcoin va a ir a hacer tope otra vez, que vas a ver otro alto histórico? Sí. ¿Y no piensas que Solana y Ethereum van a ir a alto histórico? Ahí es donde todo el mundo pensaría que van a ir a alto histórico. Y ahí es donde el mercado tomaría el efecto y se los llevaría a la verga. Es muy temprano para poder predecir los precios y los niveles, pero la psicología del trade es lo que va. Bien, Ethereum, en un movimiento súper alcista a través del tiempo, continúa haciendo altos más altos, bajos más altos por toda la tabla. Estamos por encima de nuestro promedio del 9 y del 5 en la trimestral, lo que nos pone en una mucha mejor posición que Bitcoin. La otra cosa es, estando por encima de los promedios, no tienes divergencias bajistas, tienes posibles divergencias alcistas y tienes volatilidad en el punto más bajo en toda la historia de la tabla. En la mensual tienes contracción de volatilidad después de este movimiento que dio para arriba. ¿Eso qué quiere decir? Que estás ante una corrección, pero no te dio el movimiento para abajo con volatilidad, por lo que esto no sería tan fiable. Estás por debajo del promedio del 9. Por ahora has tenido 1, 2 cierres, este sería el tercero, arriba de 3,200, vienes a 3,500 y eso se vería así en este gráfico. ¡Plup! Para simplemente dar un rechazo acá, que todo este movimiento haya sido un SFP. ¿Y eso qué querría decir? Si todo ese movimiento fue un SFP, si esto fue un SFP a la baja y esto fue lo que ocurrió, ¿qué seguiría después de este? Otro más a la baja. Es lo que normalmente te daría el alto, el bajo, el alto y el bajo, ¿no? Bien. Por ahora, Ethereum en esta tabla sigue siendo bajista a menos de que en 12 días rompemos los 3,250, que creo que va a ser posible. 2 semanas tienes volatilidad a punto de empezar a expandir. Aquí van a tener que poner un ojo, pero esta tabla acaba de empezar. Esto todavía faltan 2 semanas para cerrar. En la de 2 semanas, estando por debajo del promedio del 21, llevas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sesiones. 12 semanas por debajo del promedio del 21, 3 meses. Eso no pues correcto. Sí, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sí, verga. Wow. 3 meses por debajo del promedio del 21 en la de 2 semanas, con posible volatilidad, con posible expansión de volatilidad. Ahora sí les voy a poner esto. Y acá pueden ver, 3,600 es la parte baja de la zona azul. Te metes en la zona azul, llegas a 4,700 y ahí podrías rechazar haciendo un simple alto más bajo que este. Ahora, les estoy recomendando ahorita que se metan en un trade en long. No, porque creo que va a haber ese movimiento que les digo entre hoy y mañana, y ahí es donde puede que lo agarres, porque si tienes ese movimiento a la baja, puede que eso te dé continuación. Por ahora, la semanal tiene volatilidad contrayendo en lo que el precio está por encima o abajo de la media. Un poco por abajo de la media, pero estaba por encima. La media está en los 3,259. 3,259. Es lo que quieres estar por encima. Estando por encima de la media y rompiendo los 3,000 aquí, 3,344, deberías de venir a la parte alta de la zona azul en los 380, en los 3,880. Ahora, pierde el promedio del 100 en los 3,000 y deberías de venir a los 2,700 o hasta los 2,600. Por ahora esto no se ve tan factible. 5 días también está a punto de darte un setup de volatilidad una vez que pase el promedio, que es la línea blanca. Por acá tienes un cruce plateado con el que nos estamos peleando a la baja. Ya lo tienes y vas para abajo. Pone como objetivo la media. Esto es lo que tendría sentido para mí en este movimiento. Alto y un bajo acá. Este bajo te lo puede dar en los 3,000, más o menos, y aquí rebotar. O podrías caer tranquilamente hasta los 2,800 y ahí rebotar. Y eso te debería llevar a la parte alta de la zona azul, una vez más, los 3,500, que es más o menos lo que estoy viendo una y otra vez. Diaria, tienes nada en volatilidad, tienes un cruce plateado a la alza. Ya habías tenido este a la baja, este es a la alza, y eso quiere decir que una vez que estés por encima del promedio del 20, del 9, de los 3,240, 3,280, deberías de dar continuación a la alza a los 3,440 hasta los 3,500. Entonces, para ponerla sencilla, tíos, damas y caballeros, ahí les va esto. Ahí les va esta de Ethereum, pues para tenerla, tíos. Deme un segundo, porque pues si no pongo esto no se va a ver. Ok. Ethereum. Bastante fácil. Lo pueden ver, todo el mundo lo puede ver. Alto, bajo. ¿Ya pintó el bajo? Puede que sí, pero también puede que no, damas y caballeros. Puede que no. Acá lo que me gusta de Ethereum es esta consolidación falsa alcista, ¿no? Esta. como la quieras poner, me gustaría usarlo más así. Esperaría que Ethereum venga y se dé una recalada a los 3000, ¿no? Tal cual, 3100. Y acá es donde pueda continuar su movimiento explosivo a la alza. Ese movimiento explosivo al alza, si lo mido con solamente este canal técnico, a donde está plano aquí arriba, espérame, ahí estás. Nos debería dar un movimiento de 4200. Y ahí es donde nos debería dejar. Ahora va a cumplirse, etcétera. Tenemos que esperar. Primero, una vez más, para toda la gente que está interesada en Ethereum, pensamos que puede haber una corrección hasta acá, los 3000, 3100, con un extremo en los 2900, y ahí encontrar su rebote y de ahí puede romper. Una vez que rebase los 3400, te va a dar esa confirmación de que va a venir a los 3500 y ya de ahí puedes poner más objetivos. ¿Qué nos haría pensar que esto definitivamente no va a lograrlo? Si llegas a perder. Ahora, aquí es interesante porque los 3000 deberían de aguantar si es que va a jugar el mismo jueguito de ser bonito, pero si te llegas a llevar de ahorita este movimiento hoy, los 3000 para abajo, eliminas estos mínimos, eso sería muy alcista para mí. Y yo sé que para todo el mundo sería bajista, pero no. El hecho de que venga cripto a joder tu entrada es algo muy bueno para el otro lado. Entonces, si ahorita, como Bitcoin, Ethereum viene y se viene a los 3300, corto. Si Ethereum cae a los 2000, a los 3000, 3100, long. Y ya, tal cual como con Bitcoin. Y ahí lo tiene. No tiene tanta complicación esta vez este pedo. Está bastante sencillo. Y con eso los voy a dejar el día de hoy, damas y caballeros. Los voy a dejar trabajar tranquilos. Nos vamos una hora antes. ¿Por qué? Porque no están abiertos los mercados aquí en Estados Unidos. Es Martin Luther King Day. Y pues vamos a celebrarlo. Cada quien, ¿no? Celebra lo que quiere. Y Camilo, me habías preguntado que cómo veía utilizar AI para trading y todo eso. Intento no utilizar AI a menos de que sea para un task que sea para... Si tuviera 10 asistentes que no son tan inteligentes, digamos, que no pueden hacer algo y que les voy a dar trabajo tedioso, es para lo que utilizo AI. No lo utilizo para hacerme mejor en algo. ¿Por qué? Porque yo la estoy entrenando para que se vuelva mejor que yo. No lo voy a hacer. Al único que sí entrené para que se volviera mejor que yo es a mi coche. Y ya está ahí, el hijo de puta. Así que no lo voy a hacer con estas cosas, no me interesa. Ahora, ustedes lo quieren hacer, qué chingón. Trading va a desaparecer de humanos, por supuesto, y van a ser, me parece, en mi opinión, operaciones de inteligencia artificial en el futuro. Y pues muy chido. La cosa es, cuando todo el mundo está tradeando a través de inteligencia artificial, va a ser mucho más fácil quitarle a todo el mundo el dinero porque va a estar coordinada perfectamente para hacerlo. Entonces, no lo voy a tocar. Si quieres, si ahorita te vas a poner y enfocarte en aprender cómo tradear inteligencia artificial, te lo digo una vez más. Inteligencia artificial a mi gusto, una vez que tenga una solución viable, todos los exchanges lo van a meter, todo el mundo va a estar tradeando en ello y eso es lo que va a hacer que la gente que pueda reconocer patrones en ese entorno va a ser la mayor cantidad de dinero, en mi opinión. Puede que esté mal, puede que trading simplemente desaparezca de todo. No voy a usarlo, no quiero aprender a usar AI. Quiero, una vez más, hacer mi propio análisis. ¿Por qué? Porque cuando yo hago mi propio análisis, tengo la oportunidad de ver dónde está el precio, qué es lo que está pasando, cómo vaya dándose el movimiento, voy ajustando. Y si dejo que alguien más lo haga por mí, ¿no? Que siempre les digo, no se trata de aprender a ser trader para que sigan las señales y creyendo que con las señales que tenemos va a ser 100% de dinero. Si entiendes las bases de esto, puedes usar las señales y decir, ¿sabes qué? Aquí hay algo que no me cuadra, voy a salirme. Y funciona. Como en el long pasado, bajamos a 93, 94, tomó, subió a 95,500 y se estancó, vendí ese long. Dije, aquí va a caer y cayó. Esto es lo que quiero que aprendan ustedes y por eso no les recomendaría usar AI para hacer trading si de verdad quieren aprender y volverse mejor. Si te importa un pito eso y eres un gran fan de ella, úsala, disfrútala con absolutamente todo lo que tienes. Me voy. Gracias a todos ustedes por estar aquí conmigo. Les mando un fuerte abrazo. Cuídense mucho. Por favor, no dejen que los extraterrestres quiebren el Banco de Inglaterra. Se lo ruego. Pueden saber lo que va a pasar.